Hello? Can everyone hear us?
Hello.
I think we're live.
All right.
I think it's working.
Sweet.
All right. Hi, everyone. We're coming to you from, where are we coming from? Oh, yeah.
MTG Card Market.
I said Dojo on Monday, so that was correct then and wrong now.
It's all right. You have time to adjust.
Sorry. My apologies. So we're bringing you 4 rounds of Legacy tonight, and as the card image shows, we're also giving away a free Time Spiral tonight, so we'll be talking about that a lot.
Yeah. Great card.
It's also Japanese.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool.
That is nice.
But we already have a pairing for round 1, so I'm going to jump right down to the table and get our faces off of here.
Sweet.
And also hello to everyone in the chat who is not there yet.
They'll be there in a second.
Yeah.
We're going to have a real fun match here for you. I know Greg always plays Maverick. I shouldn't say that. Greg plays a lot of Maverick.
Yeah, this is pretty presumptuous of me to already be typing his deck and stuff, but I'm just gonna make that judgment call right now.
Have you not asked him yet?
Nah. If it's wrong, we'll update it.
Yeah. Tony
on Monday was playing Esper Blade. We'll see if that holds true again. And hello to Cook the Fourth in the chat. He's a smarty.
All right.
Always corrects our mistakes. Mostly my mistakes.
Yeah, we're gonna need a lot. I'm here right now. So.
Yeah. So good. You're my safety net.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm here to tell you when you're wrong. I'm very good at that.
It's gonna be very often.
Oh God, it's horrible. I've spent a lot of time doing this.
Which side of this matchup would you prefer to be on?
I think in general, I like how Maverick positions against these sort of J stacks.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as they start playing hateful creatures like Thalia and, like, just disrupting the curve of the Esper deck, I think I'd rather be sitting there. They have a lot of, like, really high-impact threats.
Yeah, they're more threat-dense. Mm-hmm. They don't have Brainstorm. They have Siege Rhino.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, Siege Rhino in this instance. But, like, big idiots like Knight of the Reliquary, and it really taxes the Esper players, I see Underground Sea and Snapcaster Mage. I would say it taxes all the spot removal in the deck.
Yeah, totally. Especially if there's Mother of Rooms involved.
Absolutely. And, I mean, I was going to specifically mention Snapcaster Mage. I think that card has been seeing, like, not a lot of play for how ridiculously powerful it is. Mm-hmm. And it's really, really, really good in this matchup in particular. Like, you need more things. You need more removal. You need everything. Like, I think Dig Through Time might also be pretty nice, but I would assume that there's going to be some, Deathrite and Scavenging Ooze type things that'll make it more difficult. Yeah,
I think Tony has some bullets, because he also has, like, I think a Supreme Verdict in the main deck, which could be really good. Mm-hmm. Although if Pinot gets Mother of Runes plus Gaddock Teague, that gets blown up.
Seems hard to disrupt.
Yeah.
Like, really, really obnoxious, actually.
EOSTB in the chat asks if the fact that Time Spiral is pulled up means that's the giveaway, and that's true.
Yeah, it's going to be a real nice and free, awesome Time Spiral giveaway. Japanese Time Spiral, right?
Yeah. I don't have the physical card here right now, but Mark is dropping it off later.
All right. Remember when they unbanned that card in Legacy?
Yeah.
That was sweet.
People were worried, right?
Yeah. For maybe a reasonable cause. I mean, the card is kind of... considering it goes in a pretty slow, kind of miserable deck in high tide. All right, here we go. Xenia leading off with a Flooded Strand and a pass. Looks like he has a Council's Judgment, Underground Sea, and maybe another land or two in his hand.
He took a mulligan this game, right?
He did.
Turn 1 Wasteland.
Wasteland go. I mean, he's got plays too. That's interesting.
Does he not have white mana?
Who?
Pinot. I see a forest.
He's got basic forest and Green Sun Zenith.
Yeah.
He might have access to white mana next turn.
If he Green Suns for 1 and gets Deathrite,
or Hierarch possibly. I don't know if he plays like 1 Hierarch in his deck.
He might.
He definitely has a Kasali Pride Mage and a Mother of Runes.
Right. See, if you play Death and Taxes, you don't have this problem of having the wrong color mana. You might not have colored mana, but it's not going to be the wrong color.
And right off the top, we have a Deathrite Shaman.
Perfect.
After
probably best possible draw.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think he was going to just Zenith for 1 this turn anyway.
He was, but he's still going to.
Zenith for 1. Better use of his mana. I'm a little surprised by this. I thought he would just snap off a Wasteland here and then.
Yeah, I kind of thought he was just going to play Deathrite and Waste. Although he doesn't have a second land, so it might actually end up hurting himself more.
That's true. And Tony's just going to let that resolve. He has a Swords to Plowshares at the front of his hand. I think he's just going to end up killing that. Interesting, he didn't crack his fetch, so...
He might have a brainstorm.
Or he brainstormed last turn, and he didn't crack his fetch after that.
So is that good?
I guess so. He's going to lead with the Thoughtseize here.
This Thoughtseize has a lot of good spells to look at.
Oh, boy.
He really needs to kill this Deathrite.
Yeah, and all right, he's got to kill that one, and he's got to kill the backup one. So Tony should be at 18.
Mind the pop-up. Mark doesn't have a way of like moving the pop-up somewhere else, I think, which is unfortunate. But hello to everyone who's joining us in the chat, by the way. Mike and M. Goldman. Cook the Fourth, I already called you out. Yost B, I already called you out too, so you guys don't matter.
Yeah. But thank you guys for tuning in. Always appreciate the viewers. Despite Greg's, dripping and...
Sarcasm.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, that.
All right, let's see what we got in Greg's hand here. We got Jite, Kasali Pride Mage, Knight of the Reliquary, Mother of Runes, Scavenging Goose, Deathrite Shaman, and no white mana.
It's a very hard choice. You can make choices assuming he's not going to draw white, but I think you want to actually just... I think you want to assume he's going to have white, even aside from, like, the Deathrite, which he's probably killing. Huh.
No, he's taking the Kasali Pride Mage, which...
Does that just mean he has Stoneforge or something? Like...
I guess his plan is to just win via Jite in this sense.
Okay.
But this might end up being problematic versus this Deathrite. I think this Deathrite's going to get give him a lot of value here. He's probably just gonna wasteland him next turn and then just start deploying these more expensive spells.
So I guess Tony. So he did not go after the Deathrite with the swords. No,
he did not, and he still. I think it's because he likes the card on top of his deck. Like,
it's also because there's actually there wasn't anything to make white mana with because there weren't any lands in the graveyard. Ooh.
But he knew the wasteland was in play, and
that's
that
was
true. An easy, get.
So now, okay, so he's deploying Mom, and he can still play Skooz or Deathrite.
Mm-hmm. I really like leading on Mom here. I mean, that's a card you really want to get into play immediately.
Totally.
Also note that Greg has drawn and played a second Wasteland.
Yeah. Fetch here from Tony.
All right, so it looks like I was wrong. I thought he was just preserving the top card of his deck. I think he's just going to Swords to Plowshares this Mom immediately.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, like, if he's going to play a game that lasts, more than the next couple turns, you just need to get that card off the table, or else, every spell you draw is just quite a bit worse.
Yaspi in the chat asks what sort of decks are in the building tonight. We haven't done a recon mission yet to figure out, but and Tony goes after the Skooz instead of the Mom, which is very interesting. Does he have? He might Council's Judgment the Mom?
Okay, no, his hand is just terrible. It's Caracas, Batterskull, Council's Judgment, and whatever he drew this turn, Flooded Strand. Yeah, so his hand is Caracas, Council's Judgment, Batterskull.
Terrific.
So it's quite bad. I think he's just resigning himself to
take the threats.
Yeah, just deal with the high impact threats and hope he can win with this Batterskull.
Yeah, I mean, he can still kill the knight with the. You said he has Council's Judgment,
yes,
right? Okay.
He does.
And that gets around Mother of Runes.
Mm-hmm.
So he's eating the Marshflats. Ooh,
that was quite a good draw.
That was a good one off the top.
Yeah, that's definitely going to resolve, as we know. Zini without a counterspell here. And he draws Jace of the Mind Sculptor. While usually better than all, not that great in this situation, facing down a bunch of dorks.
Yeah. Anubis, we occasionally have Belcher show up. It's not too common. I think there's some people who have like Belcher as like a third deck.
Yeah, I can see that. I've personally never played against it. I don't even think I've noticed it. The closest analog I've seen is someone playing Ley Lines.
Sure.
It's basically the same deck.
Yeah.
It is.
It functions in a similarly, how would you say,
glass cannon-y fashion.
Yeah,
I mean, Belcher's a deck that gets a pretty bad rap for what it is. Tony declining to play as Caracas really does not want to open himself up to Wasteland here.
Yeah.
But Greg still has that last Wasteland in his graveyard, so he's able to play this Knight and get in for 2 with the Gaddock Teeg.
Right. I mean, every like. If he played Caracas, he turns on Pino's Wasteland, which just gives him more white mana.
That's true. Also, I think you made Tony gain life instead of lose life from that Swords to Plowshares. Why is he at 17?
What has he done?
He's fetched twice, he's taken 2, and he's Thoughtseize. He should be at 14.
Okay. Might be.
Don't worry, guys. Don't worry, guys. I gotta right the ship here.
Yeah.
Make sure Greg knows what he's doing. All right, so Tony fetching a basic end of turn.
Yeah.
This is main phase. Excuse me. And I think he's just going to fire off the Council's Judgment on this Knight of the Reliquary if he's going to keep up with the plan of dealing with high impact threats. This just leaves him in such a weird position because he has 2 uncastable spells in his hand, 2 4-drops that Gaddock is turned off, and a Swords of Plowshares, which he's picked up this turn, which is also turned off.
He needs True Name.
Yeah, True Name would be an excellent draw. Looked like Greg drew a Sword of Fire and Ice, but I'm not sure.
That's okay.
It's not terrible.
He can play an equipped Jit this turn, though, if he wants to.
There's the land in Zeni's graveyard will give him the 4th mana.
Yeah. I don't know if he's that worried about deploying that so quickly. He could also like play the Sword of Fire and Ice and waste the Caracas.
If that is indeed what he has. I'm not quite certain that's what he drew.
Okay. I think he's playing it in the main.
I'm not surprised. Usually, these Maverick decks have largely cut Batterskull from the main deck.
Right.
Which is kind of an interesting deck building choice. And they're just focusing instead on...
aggression.
Yeah, like a sword and Jite.
Alright, so he's playing Jit, attacking for 2, and then wasting.
Yep. Just playing the old Maverick resource denial game. I mean, he's in a pretty commanding position as is.
He is.
He's assembled exactly the combination you were talking about of Mom plus Gaddock Teague.
Yeah, because Supreme Verdict's not an out now.
Mm-hmm.
Without Teague, it would be amazing.
It would be pretty good, yeah.
He'd be left with a Forest and a Jite.
I think that's why Greg feels so comfortable just extending here. Oh, it is. Yep, it's a Sword of Fire and Ice, and he's drawn a Sylvan Library for
you
turn.
Have to just play this. Oh, sure. Yeah.
I think equipping Jite is fine.
Okay.
He
you can also play Library.
Yeah. I mean, he's in such a commanding position as is.
Yeah.
I am a little surprised he didn't attack with these Death Rights.
Well, if he's going to use them for mana to play the Library.
Yeah, I think that's what he's going to be doing here. He's going to exile the Crocus and exile the Wasteland.
Yeah.
And here's the Library.
God, Death Ray is too good.
too good might be wrong. Too good for some formats, at least.
It is really good.
Yeah, it's a very good Magic card. I agree.
Mr. Elf.
Yeah. It's even better when you get to activate it multiple times a turn. Ooh, dig through time off the top for Zeni.
That he can't cast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Keep forgetting. Oh, yeah. I don't know if there's anything he can do from this position.
No, he can't do anything.
Unless he just happens to have a main deck Toxic Deluge or something, but I would be surprised.
Yeah. I wonder how much life Pino's going to pay here. It looks like 2 lands and a knight.
And he's paying 8. He's taking all of them. Yep.
Dropping to 13, but might as well be 100.
Playing the plains. Look at all these beautiful basics.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they coordinated beforehand?
Maybe. Probably not.
There's the general consensus here that everyone deserves a pretty unglued land.
Sasquatch in the chat's telling me that I look bad.
Ooh.
That's nothing new.
No, it's just, your normal everyday Thursday.
You know this person, by the way.
Sasquatch.
He was out there before.
Oh, great.
Just in the chat already trolling. Perfect. Swords on Gaddock Teague. This is the test.
Very much so.
Yes. Protection from white.
Greg is not letting that happen.
Yeah.
Appropriately. And Zeni still has 3 uncastable Magic cards in his hand.
Yeah.
And
I think he's pumping twice.
Yes, so that's 6, 7, 8.
7, 8.
Yeah.
Down to 2, it seems like.
I like this. I like being aggressive here.
Yep.
And he's just gonna play the knight. At this point, the exact sequence is
nothing. There's nothing.
Yeah, basically, it's nothing. He needs to draw Swords of Plowshares off the top.
It could be Swords plus Supreme Verdict.
But yeah, it doesn't have enough cards.
Yeah.
All
right, game 1.
Pino taking that one down pretty handily off of Zeni's mulligan.
Yeah, Tony on a mull. This is probably also the worst of the he's probably worse off in game 1 than games 2 and 3. Overall, he's gonna probably bring in pretty high impact, fair matchup sideboard cards.
Mm-hmm. Looked like Pino's sideboarding in an extra Gaddock Teague, some Thought Seizes, which I really like in this matchup, and a Crozing Grip and a Needle.
So I guess he's bringing the Teague just in anticipation of Verdict and Dig?
I think so. I mean, Teague is always pretty frustrating for these blue control decks to fight through.
Turning off your own Green Suns, though, is...
I think that's a synergy that's very... Or I should say a dyssynergy that's a little, over-exaggerated.
Yeah.
Your deck will still operate fine with a few blanks in it. And if you're adding Gaddock Teague to your deck. Like, yeah, he's even sideboarding out several Zeniths.
Okay.
I think specifically in these sort of matchups.
Did he have Thalia in his sideboard?
I don't think I saw any.
Oh.
But I think Greg is anticipating the presence of a Containment Priest.
Oh, sure.
And so he's just cutting all the cards that are just terrible against it.
Yeah, just completely try to... If Tony even brings it in, it's just going to be blank.
Exactly, yeah. It's just going to be Ash Coat Bear.
Yeah.
But I've seen a similar strategy before when I think I was playing Elves versus Maverick, and my opponent just boarded up to 3 Gaddock-Teagues. And I didn't ask him about this, but I'm certain he just boarded out all of his Zeniths. He also boarded in Containment Priest.
Sure.
I think it's going to be a reasonably common strategy among these Maverick decks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially when, Greg had a couple Containment Priests in his sideboard too.
Yeah.
So just feel free, take them out of the deck. You don't need them in there. It means, you're, I guess, slightly less likely to have it in play. Mm-hmm. But it's not integral to your game plan.
Right. It's just another good card.
Exactly. Most of the time it could just be a Grizzly Bear that uses like a Swords to Plowshares or whatever.
UTX Shiro is asking why Time Spiral was on the screen before, and that's our giveaway tonight. So it's a Japanese copy as well. We'll have the physical card later to show you guys, but Mark is very busy and he's dropping it off later. I think we're going to raffle that off probably at the end of round 3 or after game 1 of round 4, just so you know, guys. We're playing 4 rounds tonight. We're in round 1.
All right. I'm kicking off this game. Looks like both players keeping 7. And Tony's just going to lead with Marsh Flats Go. Greg, meanwhile, playing a Deathrite. Pretty good start for Greg here, leading on Deathrite. His hand is just like the most fair legacy hand of just like it's literally 2 creatures and a Pithing Needle.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it's
snap it off.
Yeah. All right, Tony gonna go to 19 here.
Flexel, what's up?
19.
I'm really bad at doing the updates to the life totals.
It's all right. I'll bug you.
I'm like really bad at it.
You'll get better, I assume.
And I've been doing this a good amount, and I'm still really bad.
just largely incompetent.
Yeah, it's great when I do it with Mark because he does everything.
Yeah. All right, Tony with the main phase Brainstorm, finding a land, a Council Judgment, and a Stoneforge Mystic. We're gonna put back a couple. It looks like he put 2 lands to the front of his hand that he's going to put back on top of his deck and shuffle away. The nice part about playing Esper Stoneblade, at least, is that he has access to quite a few basic lands, which is going to be important.
That is good. Like being on the play also helps a lot.
Yeah.
Not being on a mulligan helps.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that did seem to come about last game, though, was maybe if Tony had burnt the swords on the Mother of Runes, things could have happen differently, but
yeah, it's possible. It leaves him open to draw swords later in the game for that Gaddock.
Yeah,
which is what happened. He drew another swords and wasn't able to kill it. All right, there's the mom, and here's a turn 2 needle, and Tony
wisely cracking Marsh Flats.
Real savvy.
He did it very quickly. I wonder if that's a tip off that maybe he doesn't have a 3rd land.
It's possible. I mean, he put. I think it would be surprising if he didn't. He put 2 Tundras, I think, on top of his deck and shuffled them away. So I'm assuming he has some other land in reserve.
I'm actually kind of surprised that Pino boarded this in. Like, what is he naming?
He's naming Jace. I think it's...
How many copies can they even have? 2?
No, probably 2. It's multi-purpose. Like, it turns off Batterskull. It turns off... I mean,
yeah,
obviously...
it, like, does stuff. I may have waited on it until I saw, but...
Yeah, I generally like waiting on that sort of card. There's the Swords to Plowshares, so Greg gonna go to 21.
Sure.
Mom out of there immediately.
Yep, that seems like the thing to do.
I think he's learned his lesson from the first game.
I love when Mom lives.
It's not a common thing, but it is pretty good. Yeah, he's got the Pluto Delta right there.
Yep.
And Tony at 18.
All right, 2 fetches. Told you, bad at this.
Keeping you on your toes.
Yeah, at least you're paying attention.
Ooh, we got a Stoneforge Mystic here, getting the Jite.
Yep.
I mean, this is exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, like he named the Jace immediately, so now he's sort of leaving himself open to getting eaten alive.
Like it's not like you're playing against Miracles where you're like 95% of the time you're just naming Sensei's Divining Top.
Yeah.
This is kind of a fluid thing.
Yeah. I like it, it's sort of like being proactive with a reactive card.
Yeah.
Almost. His hand's pretty well set up to fight against this. He's got the Swords of Postures for this Stoneforge. I'm sure he doesn't have even that many copies of the card in his deck right now.
Swords?
Yeah, like it's generally pretty poor against the Esper decks.
Yeah, I guess there aren't that many things it hits. You have to keep some just to be able to fog Jitte.
Yeah. And also, kills a germ token, what have you.
Yeah. It
but,
does some stuff.
But a lot of the threats, I mean, I think the main threats in Xeni's deck are going to be
True Name
and Jace.
Yeah. Those are the ones you have trouble with, at least.
Yep. And those are,
That's a Stoneforge of his own. Interestingly, going for Jit and not Sword of Fire and Ice.
I'm not sure what the motivation is for that.
Well, he knows Tony has Jit, so Pino obviously has a more developed board for like creatures holding the Jit.
Yeah, actually, I the more I think about it, he's gonna just eat that swords right away. No one gets life. But I think the reason he wants to get Jit is to prevent any further creatures from getting out of hand, stopping his Jit from like going crazy.
Yeah, it's an attack for 3. It looks like.
Mm-hmm. Tony's got. He's got a million cards in hand.
Yeah.
I see a Vendilion. Is that a Vendilion Click? And he's got Council's Judgment, Jace. A lot of things that don't line up too well with what Pino's presenting right now.
Yeah, I guess the Jace name maybe
maybe pretty good. I mean, I don't hate it. Like
yeah.
And I mean, if he like the nice part is if he had held it, he could have gotten the sword and named Jitte. But
yeah.
All right, he's just gonna activate Stoneforge and put in the Jit and equip it to Scavenger use. There's a Wasteland as well. Alright, Xeni just flashing in the defensive Vendilion Click.
Yeah.
I wonder who he's going to target. I feel like he's going to target himself.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yep. Putting that Jace right on the bottom.
Good. See, that needle's so bad. He doesn't even have a Jace. So he's looking at Jitte of his own. He's blocking here.
I like the block. I mean, he's pretty behind right now. Now it's like
you say he has Council's Judgment though?
He does.
So he's just gonna tag the Jit with that.
Mm-hmm.
Eating Brainstorm there.
Yep. No. He's
nope.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he did. Okay, 14 for Tony, not 147.
I agree. Not 147.
Yeah.
I mean, Xeni has like quite a few draws to just like get him out of this completely though. Just any Supreme Verdict, Engineered Explosives is fine. Even just like, Snapcaster, Swords, all sorts of things. 3 mana, and he's just going to Council's Judgment right now.
Sure.
Yeah, Greg not even activating the Jit. 4 life, not going to matter at all. His hand is Mom and another Deathrite. Oh yeah, Squire Beats right here.
Yeah, why not?
This is what Magic's all about.
That was attack for 1.
Mm-hmm. A fearsome attack for 1.
Sorry, I just gave X-Sasquatch a timeout from the chat.
Oh, it's all right. You have to keep those people under control.
Yeah, animals.
They're all insane.
Smelly animals.
I think Peter's just gonna start going to work with his Deathrite.
Seems right. It's gonna eat that Council's Judgment sooner rather than later, I would imagine. Ooh, explosives on 1.
That's an excellent draw.
Should have kept that Jace.
He's just gonna crack it right now.
Yeah.
Not letting him get multiple activations of this Deathrite.
He'll also get more mana on his main phase potentially.
Mm-hmm.
He ate the Judgment.
He's still got the Jit in hand, but he has no creature. There's the attack for 1.
Yeah.
And a backup Deathrite. This seems like one of those. I feel like that Verdant's gonna get cracked for some Dryad Arbor beatdown.
Absolutely.
But I know Xeni has the Containment Priest in his hand, so he could respond, play around it. Looks like he's not going to though.
Oh, Mike22422 doesn't like me in power.
Oh really?
Yeah, because I gave someone a timeout in chat.
A little out of control. And there it is. The Dryad Arbor. The fearsome Dryad Arbor.
Yeah, this looks very intimidating. People in the chat are talking about Flicker Wisping a Necroma Angel of Fury.
That's a big game right there.
Yeah.
That's what we call that.
I don't think I would do it in Legacy.
I also don't think I would do it in Legacy. All right.
In Modern, it seems like a thing.
Look at this. This is some real powerful stuff going on here. We have our 2/2 flash.
Yes.
Coming in to block our 2-mana 1/2.
2/2 flash is probably like a 4th or 5th pick in limited, I would say, most sets. Maybe 6th pick.
In Zendikar, I would first pick it.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
There was Pino did get in for 1 there.
We got some powerful things going on both sides of the table.
That Containment Priest is currently dominating the board, and that's a Jitte.
Now it's got a Jit on it.
Does
and
he
now,
have swords?
No, he's got Bayou in his hand.
Eesh.
He's just going to take 2.
This seems like a problem. He really could use an Exile Pride Mage, actually.
And Zini going to go to 7 off this activation.
Okay. You really gotta love Twitch.
Can you IP ban in Twitch?
No.
Oh man, Greg going for the rarely seen Wasteland your fetch land.
Yep.
And Tony. Okay, he's not gonna let that resolve. He's actually just gonna fetch, going to 7, and then going to 6 after the attack.
Presumably.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be hard for Greg to get out of this one without something like Abrupt Decay.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, almost with the free explore there with the Bayou.
Nearly.
That's all right. I don't think that's gonna matter very much versus this.
Probably not. Jitte is pretty good here.
Yeah, go figure. They all
right.
The old creature deck can't beat Jit.
Yeah.
Legacy. And Dryad Arbor is not long for this world.
Yeah. I don't think this is a race you can win.
Oh, and a hard cast Batterskull. Tony is really good at just drawing his Batterskull.
Yeah, it's not really what you want to do. I mean, it's okay here, I suppose. That's a lot of land. Okay. Game 3.
Evening it up. Took out his bad cards and able to just beat down with Jit.
Right. Yeah, he probably takes out like Force of Will and just puts in more removal.
I'd imagine. Force of Will usually pretty poor against the Maverick deck.
Yeah. So it is interesting he brought in Containment Priest there, and it seems like Pino's sort of like juke of that. Like
feels justified.
Yeah.
He's looking at Path to Exile and Ethersworn Canonist. I'd be surprised if he brought either of those in. Path especially, just because ramping him is pretty poor. You don't want to give him more basic lands.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine it's better than any copies of Swords to Plowshares.
Polish guy asks, who decided that Jitte wasn't good enough adding just 1 counter? It would be a lot worse.
I agree.
It might still be playable.
I don't know. Was that one of those cards that was like like one of those like rush development things?
Like last second?
Yeah, like because that was the whole story with
Skull Clamp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Skull Clamp. There was a even actually with Jeskai Ascendancy as well. The untap ability was added on.
Yeah.
Pretty like at the end of development.
Because it would be sweet for combat.
Yeah. It's
for blocking.
Yeah. You cast an instant, untap your creatures, block their guys.
Perfect.
And then you forget that you could also just kill your opponent.
Yeah.
Instead of that.
Right.
It's way more fun that way. I'm gonna ban you from this room. So we got a game 3 here.
What else we got going on in the chat? People talking about Containment Priest with Flicker Wisp. Nice.
Ooh, that's a fun interaction right there.
You can't vial it in. I mean, you could, but it wouldn't go well for you. But you can just hard cast the Flicker Wisp, and if the Containment Priest is still there when their creature comes back, it just gets exiled.
Have you considered just playing instead of Aether Vial in your deck, just playing Leyline of Sanctity?
I have not.
Sorry, not Sanctity. I'm sorry. Leyline of Anticipation.
What does that do?
Let's pull up Leyline of Anticipation.
Okay,
here.
is
Why
that
not
like the green one?
Oh no, it is blue.
Oh, that one. Leyline of Anticipation. You may cast non-land cards.
Non-land cards.
It's been a long day.
Yeah.
Non-land cards as though they had flash. It sounds great, but I think Vial might be better. It just might be. And that is a Cavern of Souls, presumably on human.
I don't think Mother of Runes is any other creature type.
It's a mom.
It's human mom.
It is a cleric. He could have named cleric.
This new art is great.
Yeah, do you like it?
Yeah.
I kind of like it too, but I don't think I can change.
I mean, they're two very good arts between Scott Fisher and Therese Nielsen. So
Yeah, I really like Therese Nielsen in general.
Ooh, this start is very good for Greg. Double Mother of Runes and Jit.
The weakness here is
Maelstrom Pulse. Or Bileblight, I guess. Excuse me.
I see a true name in Tony's hand too. Stoneforge, probably getting his own Jit.
I'd imagine so. It's a little awkward for Greg because he doesn't have any creatures he wants to attack with right now. Like, do you think he's gonna just suit up a mom and just get in there?
He could suit up mom, give it pro white, and kill Tony's Stoneforge, which is tempting.
It's very aggressive.
It's very aggressive.
Oh,
but I like it.
He has 2 copies of Swords to Plowshares in his hand. Though.
Okay, so doesn't need to. He could swords suit up 1.
Yeah. What I think is going to happen, I think he's going to want to get counters on this Jit.
Yeah.
Although it's so much less important for him to get counters than it is for Xeni to get counters.
Okay.
I think he's going to fetch up a Scrubland.
I don't think Tony minds too much. Like,
no.
Pino taking time and energy to deal with Stoneforge when he's sitting on True Name.
Yeah, and in particular, it's not one of those like high impact threats. Like, it's not a knight. It's not an annoying Gaddock or something like that. It's just
the clock really isn't that intense.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of 1/1s.
Yeah.
And like Tony has quite a few answers to stuff like this between Engineered Explosives and Supreme Verdict.
So he has the 3rd land. I would imagine he's just gonna slam True Name.
Oh, for sure. It's just so good against the Maverick decks.
Pino is sitting on Rex Sage, so if Tony goes for Jitte at some point, that presumably won't last very long. But I mean, the True Name might just be able to race by itself almost.
Well, he fetched. Didn't he fetched Batterskull with the Stoneforge.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
He didn't get Jit?
No.
Wow.
A little surprising. He already has Jit in his hand.
Okay, that makes the most sense.
Yeah. So he's got both. I'm assuming just the only 2 equipment in his deck. The Esper decks usually don't play those. Mm-hmm. And Pino fetching out Dryad Arbor and just suiting it up. But Xeni's just gonna put a Jit on this equip and go to town on his team.
Yep.
This is problematic.
That's pretty gross. He's gonna be able to kill both Mother of Runes if he wants.
On the plus side, Greg can kill that Jit, but on the downside, he probably can't win anymore.
Yeah. Sounds great. Sounds like a fair trade.
I mean, he's just so threat light right now.
Yep.
With literally 3 1/1s.
Yeah. He gave his Dryad Arbor, I think, pro white there, but it doesn't really matter.
No.
So he can Rex Sage waste on probably the Tundra. Mm-hmm. It actually takes his Tony off white then.
I like that. I think white is probably a little more important than blue in this situation.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if he's swinging. Yeah, he's swinging for 5. Yeah.
The counters are doing very little versus
right. True. And also, I mean, he needs to get Tony dead.
Yeah.
Right now, the longer the game lasts, the worse it's getting for him.
Yeah, that wasteland looks pretty great with a bunch of white spells in Xeni's hand, but I believe he has a fetch land in there as well.
He also has
multiple swords of
Tony
Blashes.
has swords. Yeah, I think he can just keep as long as he finds a white source. That's
and there's a
he has there's 2 of them. Okay.
Yeah, he drew Rest in Peace, which is a very specific sideboard card.
He probably only brought in 1.
Oh yeah, I would be surprised to see multiple copies of that card.
I don't hate 1 against Maverick because it neuters Knight, which is probably Pino's best threat.
Yeah, it's certainly his biggest threat, the one that kills Xeni the fastest.
Yeah, he's also taking out Dig Through Time anyway because he saw Gaddock.
Yeah.
So it's not really hurting himself.
And it turns off Deathrite and Scavenging Ooze as well. Scavenging Ooze is not a huge threat in this sort of matchup.
So he doesn't swing with the True Name.
Leaving it back on defense.
I thought he would keep racing.
I guess he just doesn't think he can... I mean, it doesn't work out. The math doesn't work out for him. It's just 3 versus 5 a turn with the Jit. So
with 2 swords, he's fogging the Jit every time. Right?
I
mean, or maybe he just wants to establish full control of the board and then play Batterskull.
I guess so. I think I agree with you that he should be attacking here. I mean, what else are these Swords to Plowshares going to do? I mean, Greg has 1 card in hand.
Yeah. I switched art.
I think it's fair. I think he's like free to get aggressive here. All right, he's fetching twice.
Sure.
Probably just getting 2 white sources.
Presumably.
Yeah, he's getting basic plains and
Tundra.
Oh no, just get a basic island.
Okay.
So maybe that's why. I think he just really doesn't want to get wastelanded here.
I guess he wouldn't really be casting Supreme Verdict into his own True Name anyway.
No, he doesn't want to really wrath away the best. Trading the best card in the matchup for 3 mana 2/1 and 1/1.
I think I'd still get Tundra there, but he might have a reason.
I think he's considering hard casting Batterskull here, and he's going to do it. I think he's just waiting until he can just strap this on the True Name.
Sure.
It's a really, really tough thing for Greg to beat.
If he has another land next turn, he can also equip and still have swords up.
Well, he doesn't even need swords at that point because
I guess,
the True Name
he
will
just
vigilance.
races. Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, you just block. And Greg
God.
finally drawing a Knight of the Reliquary, but I think it's too little too late.
Yeah, Knight on this board. It's pretty large. It looks like it has three. He has 3 or 4 lands in the bin.
Yeah, at least. I think he has
Wastes,
4.
Windswept, 2 wastes now.
1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4.
Yeah, 6/6. Okay.
Yeah. So you got a 6/6 Knight, but that's just doing nothing.
Not.
He's just hoping that Zini doesn't have another land here,
Yeah.
and Zini's got the Caracas.
But he's not going for it.
Brainstorming. Interesting.
I think he wants to hold up swords at all times.
Wow, that's a horrible draw in Innocent Blood. Truly abysmal.
That's pretty funny that his deck plays. How does that deck play that card? Just for the early game?
It seems all right.
I guess if you have a True Name in play anyway, in the matchup where you want Innocent Blood, you're probably winning regardless.
I think he wants it also for True Name Mirrors.
Sure.
Interesting choice, but
Pino gaining 6 there from Swords to Plowshares.
And I'm not sure if Zini's going to fetch first.
Yeah.
Down to 11.
People are knocking the new Mother of Runes art, so I'm switching back now.
I think the art's amazing.
Yeah, I don't see why everyone thinks it's bad. She doesn't really look like much of a mother. She looks like a daughter.
Well, Therese Nielsen had like a whole blog post about this art specifically.
Okay. That it like all of her other art looks exactly like her.
So this was her daughter post for this one.
Oh, okay.
But
of all of the art, she should have used herself.
I know, right?
She's the mother.
Exactly. But you know, she wanted to go. Like, the art direction was really interesting to me. Like it was very. It wasn't anything like maternal. They wanted a young woman.
Okay.
Like there's like woman looking out, like holding a literally ball of light that's like emanates energy or something, things like that.
That is how white cards work.
Yeah. And I mean, like, this is like someone who looks magical. Looks like she can do crazy things. X Sasquatch completely out of control in the chat right now. I would just ban him. Looks like Zini's just gonna Swords the Dryad Arbor.
Yeah, seems about right.
Yeah, and this is getting real bad.
Yeah, so this was.
It was already pretty bad.
Yes.
Oof.
Swords on Dryad Arbor, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did he pump in response?
I believe so.
So did he gain 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so up to 26, then down to 24.
Thoughtseize.
Council's Judgment. That would have been fine.
I think at this point it's just.
That's another thing. Getting the Tundra earlier. Another double white spell.
Yeah.
Which isn't like the most irrelevant. Although now he does have 5 basics in play, which is pretty sweet.
I think Zini is playing actually one more basic than Esper usually plays. I remember like originally the deck played 4 just so you could cast Jace from all basics, and that's like the main thing. But he's playing the extra planes, I think, as a concession to like Council's Judgment and
Supreme Verdict. Yeah, I like the second planes.
Yeah, he's going to be attacking her with the Batterskull.
Seems good.
And following it up with a Stoneforge Mystic, Fail to Find.
Yeah, that's the best way.
Oh yeah, just play your Squire. Don't be afraid.
Yep.
Pino playing his own Squire. I think he has a Sword of Fire and Ice to go get here, which is pretty important, but it's not going to be able to erase what's going on the other side of the table. Nope, Fail to Find.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I'm an idiot.
There's
a sword right there.
Yeah, you got sword.
Yeah, it was real quick. But
might be failed to do anything relevant.
Yeah,
I mean, another point.
Yeah, there's just a lot of things going on here that are bad for Greg.
It's a lot more Stoneforge Mystic than you usually have to deal with.
Yeah, it really is. And he's just gonna attack with. He's thinking. Yeah, just both.
So he's not moving over.
No.
He wants to keep the 3 mana open too, just in case. So this is a swing for 7, no blocks. Pino down to 13.
And Zini up to 19.
Yep, this is definitely not the kind of game Pino wants to play here.
No.
Siege Rhino would be really good, though.
It wouldn't be terrible. I mean...
Because you also put Sword of Fire and Ice on it to get past True Name.
Yeah. I think... I think that this would be a lot... I mean, this would take quite a bit more... this would take less time if Zini just slapped the Batter Skull on the True Name. I guess he's playing around, you know, as you were saying, leaving 3 mana up to prevent some sort of disenchant.
Yeah.
Or Solid Pride Mage type thing.
Right.
I guess Pride Mage is the main one, because I know the other artifact removal spell he plays is Grip, which he's not going to beat anyways.
Yep. Ooh.
Swords
Counterspell.
Actual counterspell. Ooh.
Didn't play around that.
Nope. And now
I don't think he's attacking into the Germ.
Ugh. Does not seem like a good proposition.
It's not great, because then Pino just... Or Tony just puts on True Name and goes to town, presumably.
You know, with Greg at 0 cards, the coast is clear.
Yeah. That counterspell was pretty good.
I mean, if he does move it, that still leaves Pino open to PLA Solid Pride Mage. It's like
true.
Probably his best draw.
That's true.
Besides maybe his own Consul's Judgment, I'm assuming he has some copies of that card.
And Sword of Fire and Ice does let him swing past True Name in that case. I guess he could also just move it over to Stoneforge Mystic, actually.
Yeah. He's just electing not to attack, thinking I think he thinks his creature is just too important right now.
Yeah, he probably just has to peel.
Yeah. And he's not just dead. Like, there are seemingly ways he has out of this.
So attacking for 7. See if he wants to block. He didn't attack last turn, so presumably he doesn't want to block either.
I think he's definitely thinking about it. Yeah.
So what's the benefit? I guess you also get 2 counters on your Jit, so then you can just kill Stoneforge. So then all Tony has is really just True Name plus Batter Skull.
I think this kind of sets up for the plan of...
Alright, so he's taking 3, and Tony's getting 4.
So if he draws Solid Pride Mage this turn, he can at least, you know, immediately deal with this Batter Skull and maybe outrace
True Name by itself.
Yeah. Did not see the card that I drew, but I don't believe it was our good cat wizard friend.
He's probably just... Okay, Deathrite. And now he moves both equipment.
Yeah, the Deathrite's free with the Cradle out.
Yeah. Tony only has 1 card in hand, so he moves over both equipment. He can probably actually just kill this... Well, actually, no.
I think he wants to.
He can't because there's a risk that Tony just bounces and puts in Batter Skull again.
Yeah, and that is pretty problematic here.
So he can't minus the Jit, but he can just attack into the Stoneforge because he can always pump with the Jit counters to make his creature bigger than the Germ token would be anyway.
True. So yeah, he's gonna do I think just that. He's gonna put the Jit on there and put the Sophie on and attack.
Yeah.
So now,
don't kill Stoneforge.
Yeah, so now the onus is on Zini to figure out what to do. He's going to activate Stoneforge.
And then in response, he's going to bounce before it resolves. You do that to... Technically, you're playing around what? Like, click?
I mean...
You're not really,
no, you're
right?
not.
You're not actually...
No matter what, you're going to give someone an opportunity to come in and click your card away.
Right.
But he's doing it to play around him responding by killing a Stoneforge.
Okay, sure.
Because if he returns...
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah. If he returns in response, he gets blown up by the onboard trick.
Yeah. I would have totally done that wrong. That is the thing I would do.
Expert White Weenie player Greg Schaefer.
I'm really bad sometimes.
Barely knows how his cards work. It's
all right, so it looks like there was a block.
By the Batter Skull.
Yeah, and just a minus. Okay, so Tony's gaining 4,
yep.
Pino's gaining...
0.
Or no, sorry, Tony's gaining 3.
Yeah, 3. Yeah, because the minus instead of the pump.
Right.
The precious life. The race.
Yeah.
That's actually a pretty savvy play. That's a play that I would have missed.
Pino's gaining 3 there?
Pino's gaining 0. Well,
yeah. He just has Jit. He doesn't have Batter Skull.
And then he popped off the Stoneforge right away to stop any more shenanigans.
Yeah.
So we got a Brainstorm hitting. Oh, he
does have Dig. So he has Rest in Peace in his deck. Pino has Gaddock Teague, and Tony left in Dig. Okay.
We got some conflicting ideologies.
It is good in the matchup, but it just seems like I don't know.
I mean, it's generally a powerful card.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like we've got...
That's an attack for 7. Pino gaining 2 life.
Yep. Might have the light totals wrong here.
Yeah, if that was lethal, presumably.
Well, he gets to attack through. So this is like gaining 4 life. I mean, this is, it makes every attack for 3 damage from Zini.
Yeah, so this attack for 3. 2 counters. Draws a card. Did not hit.
Oof. Land.
Yeah, he really just needed to hit Pride Mage.
Yeah, Pride Mage or Crossing Grip would have been
Yeah.
ideal in this situation.
If he hit, I mean, I think he wins the race, just about.
I think so.
At least as the board is right now.
Oh, yeah, if he hits, he certainly wins the race because he's gaining a life a turn.
Yeah, obviously Tony has a lot of time to draw out because he's at a high life total, but...
Yeah, and he's just going to gain 2 life. I think this is putting him to...
What does it say in the pad?
I think it's 4. Now he's going to 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
You must have missed
a fetch or something.
Fetch, yeah.
And then Zini fetching to 22.
Okay.
Hopefully we have these right. We probably have these right.
It's close.
Yeah.
It probably doesn't matter in a fair deck fight, right? The life totals?
No, not at all.
Probably not at all.
No, I don't think so. I know all about this. I play fair decks all the time.
Yeah.
We do only have 6 minutes left, though, so...
Yeah.
This is a pretty interesting, like,
yeah, I'm
back
a
and
fan.
forth.
I'm a fan of this kind of matchup, and it's just like... It's not... there aren't a ton... You get some blowouts, but you also get games where people can actually come back from when they're behind.
True.
I don't know.
Well, this has been a pretty back and forth game. So Greg gonna go to 3 here, and Zini gonna go up to 29, and he's just gonna dig. Dig feels like the nail in the coffin here, though.
Yeah. What is the best? I guess he just gets like a sword to plowshares,
Yeah,
or
swords,
Snapcaster, any number of things.
Yeah, he's leaving all the swords in his graveyard.
Supreme Verdict's okay.
Containment Priest, Click, Stoneforge. A lot of bad ones here, honestly.
Yeah, Stoneforge is a blank.
Ponder and a land.
So you probably take... He's taking Verdict as a insurance policy?
I think so.
Maybe Click?
I like taking Ponder here.
Okay.
Click is also all right.
Looks like he took Containment Priest.
Not a huge fan of that, honestly. I think he's playing around Greg drawing Greens and Zenith, but we know that Greg has no copies of that card in his deck at the moment. I think I would have been interested in the Ponder there.
Yeah.
Thoughtseize is an awkward draw.
It's not the best.
I mean, I don't think he can afford to cast it at this point.
It's attack for 3?
Attack for 5.
5? Oh, he pumped.
No, the Sophie.
Oh, right, trigger.
Probably missed that last turn.
What the shit? Oh, you're right. I definitely didn't miss the last turn. So,
and he's gonna pack it in.
Yeah,
Looks
he
like
just can't keep up with the.
No, this life game would just put him to 7, and that's
yeah, just not enough.
But a pretty sweet opening match.
Yeah.
I think what's going on here. We got a good couple of fair decks just battling it out.
Right.
The old Stoneforge mirror. Fair decks, except one of them has a 3-mana Progenitus.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's really great, right? I'm going to bring it back to the booth.
Bring it back to our beautiful faces.
Yeah, and Stefan just standing there.
Oh, that's not creepy at all.
Perfect.
Get out of here.
He's the janitor.
Yeah.
Don't worry, everyone.
Ignore him.
He's being paid to stand there.
Pay no attention to the man in the corner.
Yeah. I'm going to bring up the card that Pino need to draw there.
That's going to be the F&M.
Yeah.
No, what's this one?
It's not that great of a card.
This is a this is a fantastically designed card.
It is.
It's so good.
It is exceedingly good and flexible, but it's not too good.
No, not at all. There's
no way you could think it's too good.
It's like a perfect common Magic card.
And it's the perfect green-white card.
Yeah, it's really really excellent. This is a card that came out when I wasn't playing Magic, and I came back. I remember when I was younger, I saw the card Watchwolf.
Yeah.
I thought Watchwolf was the most powerful card I'd ever seen. I thought it was so good. I was also 14.
Sure.
And I come back to playing Magic and I see a card like this, and I'm like, what? This is embarrassing. What happened to Watchwolf, man?
Things changed.
Yeah. But I mean for the better. For those curious, this is Watchwolf. It's basically the same card.
Yeah.
Except without the abilities.
When I was first into things, this is what a 2-drop looked like in green.
See, now this is an example of an overpowered 2-drop. I don't think you can make an argument that this card is...
This card's not the overpowered card. What is?
Oh, any other card from that time. Oh, Circular.
This is probably the overpowered card.
I don't think Circular Logic is that broken. I think the cards around Circular Logic are broken.
It's very good.
I think Mongrel is actually one of the least fair cards in that deck.
Sure. I guess I thought this card was really good.
Lord of the Worm, yeah.
I just like 6/6s.
This is probably a card that when I was younger, I would have never like realized that you should discard it for value. I would have waited for the 7th land.
You want both?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you gonna pass up a 6/6?
Yeah.
If I gave you a choice between 2 6/6 worms or 1 6/6 worm,
the two wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like every time.
It definitely does. Even if you're already dead. All right, what's going on in chat?
Oh, Polish guy, I did in fact try and build the Lord of the Pit breeding pool deck. I built that exact deck.
Yeah.
Just like everyone. That was a nice combo right there.
Speak for yourself. Everyone didn't build that deck.
Did you not build that deck?
I did.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I didn't build that deck.
Lord of the Pit, you know.
What is the idea?
So, what was it? Breeding pool, not breeding pool. Breeding pit.
Breeding pit.
It's
they make little thralls.
Yeah.
You sacrifice them.
You have your pit that makes the thralls, and then you have the Lord of the Pit, which eats the thralls.
Okay.
Yeah. So every turn you have your breeding pit,
Yeah.
which makes 1/1s, and then Lord of the Pit eats them, and you don't take 7.
That sounds great.
It's a combo. It's a combo to make you not die.
That sounds really worth it to your own creature.
I mean, this is
Don't worry about their creatures. We'll worry about theirs later.
Yeah.
You have a flying trample 7/7.
You need to feed your demon. All right.
Right.
This is just like comical comparing this to any modern day 7-drop.
Sounds great. Modern day 7-drop. Oh wait, no, that's
an 8-drop. Cannot pull up Grizzlebrand. It is a
I
demon.
can pull up Karn.
I mean, I
guess it's not fair.
It's
to
not
use,
a creature.
Not fair to use planeswalkers. How about
Hornet Queen?
Yeah, Hornet Queen. That's beatable.
Well, Hornet Queen is like the opposite of
That's true.
Of a Lord of the Pit.
Here's a good 7-drop.
Oh yeah.
Remember when this card was legal. Okay, I think we're good.
Are we alive?
Are we back?
Stuttered.
Yeah, stuttered. We're back.
I don't know.
It's okay. It's Ogre now. Thanks, Dev Clock.
Ooh, it's all Ogre now.
Yeah.
All right.
Apparently, mentioning Grizzlebrand brought the stream down. Perfect.
Oh, I mean what can you say?
Yeah.
It's a scary card.
Grizzlebrand new.
I got a Grizzlebrand this weekend.
Yeah.
I got one from the Grand Prix.
But you went to Memphis?
I did.
What did you play? Blue-black control?
I did.
Did you do terribly?
I did. All of those things are true.
Was it related to this card being a piece of trash?
Absolutely not.
I think it was. I think you're denying
consistently
reality.
one of the best cards in my deck.
Okay.
The problem is that
the problem was you?
I would say that was certainly a healthy chunk of the problem.
So you had 2 buys.
I did.
What was your record at the end of day 1?
I dropped after round 7.
Ooh.
At X3.
He was 2 and 7.
That's quick.
Yeah, I was 2 and 7.
That's quick.
I dropped as soon as I got my 3rd loss.
Right.
I
so
ran
you
into...
went 2-3 drop?
As far as games played, I did not do the best I've ever done.
I'm sure you played against all the best players in the room.
I played against Shaheen Sarani in the 1st round.
Ooh, was he playing...
The Mirror, yeah.
Blue-black Mirror?
Yeah, except his deck had 4 main deck Thoughtseize.
Okay. Was he playing Grind Clock on the board?
I don't think so.
Okay.
We actually had a really awesome post-board game. The game 1 is hilarious because, the blue-black control deck is 2 kinds of spells. It's blue spells, which are good in the mirror, and black spells, which have no text in the mirror. And so game 1...
Downfall and Thoughtseize. That's it.
Yeah, those cards, basically. Thoughtseize in particular. But
Thoughtseize is basically a counter spell.
Yeah. Downfall is a necessary evil because of this card right here, Ashiok.
I thought it was because of this other card. I think it's pronounced Eugene or Eugene. Eugene. Okay.
Eugene.
Sorry, Eugene.
So I actually had a long conversation with him about Ugin. He thinks the card is completely... I think his words were, I don't want to call it terrible.
Okay.
Because that would be too nice. He thinks it's awful in blue-black.
It's 8 mana. Oh, yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, you go pick. All right, go pick something with Eugene in it.
That might be difficult.
Probably. What's up? Perfect. Gibbous in the chat. We haven't seen anything weird yet.
Nothing weird yet, huh?
No weird magic cards. I might bring it down to the table just to get our janitor off the stream, but we'll see.
Yeah, this is probably a
Oh,
Pyroblast.
What did you pick?
I picked Kyle Houtman
Okay.
playing
Sneak and Show?
and Show,
Sure.
and Chuck Harris
Okay.
playing a deck with somehow some cards I don't know.
Not Jeskai Ascendancy?
Yeah, no, he's playing that deck. I just don't know what the cards in that
okay.
deck are, which is it's crazy. It's crazy. I know every card.
I'm gonna bring it down to the booth because I'm gonna.
We got to get away from the booth.
Our crazy janitor is being really creepy.
Sorry, guys. It's really, really uncomfortable.
I
ban you from the chat.
I promise you.
That's what happens.
I promise.
Come here.
So we have this strange issue where we ban. As soon as we ban someone from the chat, they just show up
Yeah.
in the room.
You
Where we're
really
saying
have
it.
to use bannings as a last ditch effort.
Yeah, because it can get crowded.
We're gonna have to take care of this guy all night.
Yeah.
I'm actually leaving.
Oh, all right. He's leaving.
I'll be on chat.
Bye, Mr. Janitor. I'll try not to ban you. That's a lie. I'm gonna ban him immediately. Oh, sorry. Good catch.
Yeah.
I'm an editor. That's my job. That's like my job title.
Literally what you do.
Yeah. I'm really bad. It's like shocking I haven't been fired.
Oh, Chuck's hand doesn't look great. Definitely
Yeah.
has several lightning bolts in it. Is that a humble defector?
Yes.
Whew.
He is also playing the card Homeward Path.
Pull that one up, please. Please pull that one up.
Yep. I think it's related to. I think there's a series of movies about a dog trying to get home, and I think this art is related to that.
It's called Homeward Bound.
That, yeah. He should have it altered.
Satsu Kawaii. Yes, there are 4 rounds today.
Oh, yeah, that's Mark.
I know.
Okay. So we have a probe.
Oh, that literally has the card in his hand.
Yes.
Man, he's got
Oh,
the combo.
I gotta update the overlay. Everyone's gonna get mad at me.
I'm already mad at you.
Damn.
I should have asked what their records are.
Probably 1-0. We'll guess 1-0.
I can go find out if necessary. All right, so Chuck's hand, it's not the actual worst. I mean, like, any spell with Jeskai Ascendancy is still fine.
Yeah. The Homeward Path is definitely awkward in your opener because he needs 3 different colors of mana to cast Jeskai Ascendancy. Although,
Yeah.
in this matchup, it might wind up getting pitched to Force of Will.
It's definitely possible.
He leads with Path.
It's a little surprising.
That is very surprising.
I mean, I think he is...
He's playing Humble Defector on turn 2.
For sure.
I also don't know why he wouldn't just bolt right now.
I like holding the bolt. Until he has...
triggers.
Yeah. Until he has Ascendancy in play, at least. But he's definitely just jamming this Humble Defector on turn 2.
Yeah.
I wonder if Kyle's going to Force of Will. There's no way.
No, he's just gonna use Force to protect his own combo, probably.
Especially if he's keeping off this. Looks like he drew the sneak attack.
Yeah.
Playing Vulcan, passing.
Right.
Alright, looks like Chuck gonna crack that Scalding Tarn going to 19.
Cool.
He's fetching out some sort of dual land. He has
Golly.
multiple copies of Homeward Path in his deck. This is awesome.
Multiple?
Yeah, and there's a Quicken I saw as
Oh
he was
my
going
God.
through. There's a Volcanic Island. And we'll see our good friend, the Humble... Let's pull up Humble Defector.
Oh, yeah.
For those not familiar with Fate Reforged Draft.
Well, I was going to say for people who aren't Legacy experts, they
Oh.
probably are not familiar with this
One of the-
staple.
Yes, Legacy Staple.
Yes.
Humble Defect. Man, that's awesome. This card's sweet. Draw 2... It says draw 2 cards on it. How could it not
It
be
says
amazing?
that. It also says other stuff.
But man, this combo is actually. I mean, he's gonna turn it on. I don't know if he's gonna have time to really.
The problem is that he can't cast it.
they can't cast the Ascendancy.
Yeah.
But
this is a problem.
I mean, if he can just draw some counter spells. Oh, this is putting him to the test
Show
right
and
now.
tell.
Chuck gonna Force of Will. And
Okay.
I imagine Kyle gonna Spell Piercer Force of Will back.
That seems good.
I know Kyle has Sneak Attack in his hand. I feel like that's what he's gonna be putting in.
Uh-huh.
But he's just gonna force pitching Force.
Yep. And Chuck doesn't have...
And his last 2 cards aren't Force Blue card.
Yes.
He has a permanent to put into play. It is a Flooded Strand versus
Sick.
Sneak Attack, and he's activating.
Oh boy.
Hopefully it's Emrakul. It's not.
No, he might draw 7 and try to hit Lotus Petal plus Emrakul though.
I think he certainly will.
So is this Chuck fetching right now?
I think this is.
Does he have Swords to Plowshares?
I was just gonna say that. I think it's in response to the ability.
Oh, do you think he already paid 7?
I think so. We'll find out.
No, he just fetched.
Oh no, he's gonna.
Now he's paying 7.
Going to 10.
He might. No, he's not gonna go to 3. Actually.
Well, he fetched.
Yeah,
Tundra.
he actually could go to 3. If he found half of it, he might. Because he's gonna gain 7 anyway.
Looks like he just found a pile of land and some. I saw Spell Pierce at the front.
Andy Gray thinking I don't know if Andy is saying that he can only pay once or he will only pay once.
Yeah, he's paying again. He's going to 3. I mean,
this is the problem with Chuck fetching is that he allowed Kyle to do this.
Yeah, I don't understand why he fetched there.
Not totally sure either.
I think it would have been optimal to just leave that on Greg.
He found it.
Lotus Spell. I think he must have only had one half of it, like just the Grizzlebrand.
So he had swords. So he swords the Grizzlebrand.
He still gains 10. Just Chuck doesn't take.
He gains 7, right? He goes to 10.
Yeah, Chuck's going to go to 2, and Kyle's going to go to 10.
Yes.
And Chuck has no permanents and 2 lightning bolts.
Yeah. Sorry. Wrong life totals here. Now it's right.
And then Kyle just playing a second Lotus Petal, and then
okay.
And then just gonna discard a bunch of lands.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Chuck correctly stopping Kyle from shuffling in those lands because they're discarded to cleanup.
Sure.
Happening after the sacrifice trigger from Sneak Attack.
That's very important.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's good for Kyle.
It definitely helps Kyle.
I'm sure Kyle's just gonna kill him now, though.
They don't always have it.
Or turns out.
Have it.
Kyle has it, and it's a very quick game 1 there.
Yeah, and now Chuck gets to board out all those crappy bolts and stuff.
Is it Core Firewalker in his sideboard? Some Meddling Mages.
No way. Core Firewalker? That's...
So I'm putting 3 Surgical Extractions.
Oof, that's pretty good.
Oh yeah, pretty
also,
hateful.
Did you see, like, Pyroblast?
I believe so. He had a Hydroblast, which he didn't sideboard in. Hydroblast is honestly kind of poor against the Sneak and Show deck.
It's okay.
Its only real red cards are...
Sneak Attack?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Sneak Attack. And, I mean, they often don't even need to cast that card. They sometimes board in Through the Breach.
Also, I mean, presumably Kyle's boarding in Pyroblast.
That's true. And given that, I think I would be interested in boarding them in.
I think I would. I think Chuck has enough dead cards. Because he probably has, what, like, anywhere between, like, 2 and 4 of both Bolt and Swords to Plowshares.
Yeah, which are both just completely unplayable.
Yeah. I mean, as cute as Swordsing Grizzlebrand is, it's...
Not something you want to be
kind of already done its job.
Yeah. It looks like Chuck fanning out 8 cards that he wants to board, and I know at least 3 of them are Surgicals, and probably 3 of them are Blasts.
Sure.
Yeah, and he's pulling out those bolts.
I'm just going to remind everyone while we're between games here that we're going to have a giveaway later tonight, and it is going to be a Japanese time spiral.
Wow, interesting. I see Chuck boarding out at least a couple Jeskai Ascendancies. I don't know if he's boarding all of them out. He's putting them back in. Never mind. I would be surprised if he didn't leave that card in his deck. It seems like it's still a strong avenue to victory for me. This is a 4 Dig Through Time deck, right?
I presume. Well, it used to be a 4 Treasure Cruise.
I mean, it was like a 4 Treasure Cruise plus 2 Dig Through Time deck for the hot second.
Yeah.
Before it got nerfed to hell.
Gibbous asks is the giveaway drugs. You could call magic cards. They're drugs. I mean, we're giving away drugs.
Time Spiral is a hell of a drug.
Yes.
You ever cast that card?
I've seen people cast it, and they seem high as balls.
Yeah, you should try it. It's a pretty intense high.
Yeah.
You cast it.
Right.
You shuffle all this garbage in, and then you get 7 new cards.
And then later, you probably have a really harsh come down because your deck's not that good.
Yeah, that's like the worst part.
Yeah.
You sit down and you're just like, wow, I spent 30 minutes to cast a Blue Sun Zenith for 100.
Yeah. That time when you did drugs.
Yeah.
And those other times when you're not allowed to do drugs, it's really bad.
Yeah. I mean, kids don't
do drugs.
no, don't do drugs and don't play High Tide.
Yep.
That's the real problem here.
Yep.
I do have quite a bit of like I think the High Tide deck is actually kind of cool. I just hate what it does to tournaments.
It's the delays. I mean, that I think it largely comes down to who's playing the deck.
I agree.
Because like you see the SCG players who have been playing the deck for a long time. Like, I don't think I've ever seen Feline Longmore go to time with the deck. Right?
Nope.
She's not the problem.
No, like her. Have you ever seen like Michael Burnett play the deck?
No.
Very, very like excellent. I mean, Burnett's like a fantastic player.
Yeah, he's definitely very good.
But and when he I know that's like the only legacy deck I've seen him play, and he's real fast.
Sure.
But yeah, that you hand someone that deck, like that deck, and any deck with Senses Divining Top,
Yeah.
just sort of puts a strain on big legacy tournaments.
Right.
It's even worse when you have like when you have players who are maybe not too deliberate players.
Okay.
Who just won't encourage one another, and it just
compounds
it snowballs.
the problems.
You just have all these like crazy slow interactions. Yeah, Collection. I watched her. I've seen her show off with that deck, just like
on camera.
No, I was just like watching her match because her opponent just like basically F6'd, and she just I think she made him draw like somewhere in the neighborhood of like 700 or 800 cards.
Sure.
Because she's just like incredibly fast with the math.
She didn't want to bother counting his deck. Just make sure that it's lethal.
You need to be careful.
Yeah.
Some of those people, they show up with their Battle of Wits deck.
Right.
And
you can't really see if they're how many cards.
Exactly. Like you don't have the time to count.
Yeah. And different kinds of sleeves are like thicker than others. It's hard to tell. Some people double sleeve their cards.
A lot of frustrating factors. Ooh,
right.
Chuck fanning out his hand. Ugh. Saw a bunch of good spells and no lands.
Sure. That sounds great.
Easy mulligan. Throw that away.
Retro in the chat asks if there are WUBRG t-shirts, and there are, in fact. I think Mark has made one round of them. I don't think he's making them available for purchase or giveaway just yet, because I don't think he has too many of them. I have one, but that's because I'm special.
Look at you.
They're great, though. I wore it at the SCG in Indy, so that was cool.
Yeah.
I had a bunch of people actually knew the stream, which I thought was fantastic. I thought that was great.
Yeah, that's really cool when that happens.
Yeah.
Apparently that happened to Sydney and Ryan when they went to the Modern GP in Omaha. They had people just coming up. They're like, "Oh, we love the Modern stream," and that's just really cool.
Yeah.
All right, Kyle.
Fetch is Basic Mountain.
No, he played Basic Mountain on turn 1.
Oh, okay.
And now he's playing.
Sorry.
Is it happening? The Defector returns.
Jeez. It is very good in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean it's also it's legitimately good on the play.
Okay.
Like if he's
you have enough time.
Yeah, that was the issue with it on the draw. Like he, when you just play it on turn 2, Sneak and Show on turn 3, they're almost certainly gonna try and kill you then.
Ever giving Kyle extra cards though seems like it could be pretty sketchy though.
I agree. He could employ the combo of that's in his hand of activate Humble Defector and then Hydroblast it.
Okay. You could. This looks like a double fetch out of Kyle.
Yeah.
I wonder what he already wants to cast. Maybe a defense grid.
Defense grid would be nice. Looks like he did board him Pyroclasm in anticipation of Young Pyromancer shenanigans.
Apparently, Easpy was at the SCG and recognized somebody with the WUBRG shirt before I finally located Mark.
Nice.
That could have been me. That could have also been one of the people I drove down with.
They're quite. They're like 5 or so people wearing the shirt.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Ooh, Kyle. It looks like he's going for the turn 3 show and tell.
Oh boy, this is turn 2.
Or turn 2. Excuse me.
Yeah, he's on the draw.
Chuck with the force. Does Kyle have force back?
He does.
He does. They always have it, don't they?
Yeah. I wonder if Chuck has anything else. Nope.
Chuck has Hydroblast and I think Obsessive Research.
Hydroblast wouldn't actually have helped.
And we're putting in the old Spaghetti Monster.
And Chuck did not.
Do you draw Oblivion Ring? He did not.
That's it. All right.
Pick 2 games.
Ugh, that's rough.
It was a beating.
Do you want to go see if there's anyone else we can put on camera? Or do you want me to go look?
I will go.
Okay. Christian Ryan in the chat. The giveaway tonight is a Japanese copy of the card Time Spiral, which I've pulled up on the screen over here. So I'm going to reset the overlay, and Phil has gone to look and see if we can put another match on camera. Fortunately, that match only took about 14 minutes, so there's a pretty good chance we move someone over. Unfortunately for Chuck, it ended in defeat for him. What else do we have going on in the chat here? Polish guy asks, if I showed up at one of the shops in Chicago, could they be had then? I traveled there in the fall. If you're coming in the fall and you let me, probably Mark, actually, if you let Mark know that you're coming, I'm pretty sure, like 95% sure he could make that happen for you. I don't know if we're just going to like have them on hand always if people just like randomly show up one night and really want to buy a shirt.
We got some non-interactive Magic coming up.
Okay, great. That's your style, right?
Yes, it is. We got Jason Huang.
Yeah.
Playing Doomsday.
Why not?
His decks. Jason's decks are always awesome.
Yes.
Because
you have no idea what they're in.
Nope, no clue. I looked over the last time we were playing, and there was like a Mox Opal in play, and some other crazy stuff. But yeah, he's playing a crazy Doomsday deck.
Sounds great.
And he's playing against your favorite deck in Legacy.
Oh, Death and Taxes?
Almost.
What?
Lands.
Oh.
Who wants to see some lands? Let's do this.
My favorite, like, interaction with lands is just playing against it. They're both 1-0? Okay, thanks.
Playing against it?
Yeah. My match, I really like my matchup against lands.
Yeah, I think Death and Tax is actually generally favored.
Yeah.
Flicker Wisp is just insane.
Oh my god, it's so good.
It's just it's the actual perfect card in that match.
I played against Bowman last week, and I Flicker Wisped out his Tabernacle 2 turns in a row with 2 different Flicker Wisps, and it felt real good.
Yeah, I mean, collects it. This is whatchamacallit. Jason's certainly up a game because there's just nothing Andrew can do
this matchup's really bad for
lands.
Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible. Game 2, as is usually the case with the lands deck, they're pretty bad against fast combo. Specifically fast spell-based combo.
Right.
Like I actually think the matchup against Sneak and Show is not terrible if you're playing lands, as long as you're prepared for Blood Moon. But
do you happen to know if Bowman is playing red-green Lance Knight or the blue land version?
I do not know.
I know recently he got the cards to play the blue version, and he's been trying that out. Obviously, we can refine the deck name as we see what cards are being played.
Ooh, I see multiple Bobs, but no sphere effects.
Boarding in Bob, interesting.
I think Bob is excellent.
I guess if they're not killing it, might as well.
Yeah, and you just like need something to gain an advantage. Like the important thing here is playing like a sphere effect every other turn.
Okay.
Trying to be as like frustrating as possible. Jason's
hand is good.
Ooh yeah.
Doomsday, LED,
Cabal Ritual, Ponder,
Seed of the Synod,
Lotus Pale Seed of the Synod.
He plays Mox Opal.
I love this.
So he has to play Seed.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Doomsday can kill on turn 1. Not as
much in Legacy.
I mean,
pretty unlike. I think you need like 6 or 7 specific cards.
Personally, I think it's in Vintage. I think it's the scariest deck in the format. It's not like
the Blue Belcher deck.
I think Doomsday is effectively a better version. Oh boy, Andrew basically seeing the same hand, just like 2 Bobs, a Zurin Orb.
Well, he has a fetch.
And an Intuition.
He can presumably get a black land, right?
I don't think that's what he's worried about, though. I think he's trying to think if he can even keep this hand without a Sphere of Resistance or a Chalice of the Void. I think Spheres.
Do they play like 8 or something? Or like 7 or something?
No, usually 5.
Okay.
Traditionally, I think it's 4 Sphere and a Chalice in the sideboard of this style.
You can't just mull to that, though.
It's just so hard to win if you don't.
I wonder, does he have an Underground Sea? Because he has an Intuition, but he also needs black mana for Bob.
He can't fetch Underground Sea anyways.
Oh, right.
All right.
Fetches aren't 5 colors? That's so weird.
All right, let's see what Jason does here. I'm, like everyone else, excited to see what's going to go on with this Doomsday deck.
Mm-hmm.
Tanking a little bit. He's going to start with Basic Swamp. He's thinking about what... I see a Sentence Divine top in his hand. I think he's going to lead with that.
Sure.
Top is very important in this matchup for a couple reasons. One reason in particular is that it lets you effectively cantrip or filter without having to cast a spell into a sphere of resistance.
Okay.
Like it's consistently keeping you. You still get to like monitor your draws.
Yeah.
Without having to spend too much mana.
One of the nice things about Doomsday as opposed to just normal like Ant too is he doesn't have to necessarily kill with a bunch of spells in one turn. He can Doomsday and set up a kill with Laboratory Maniac.
Yeah.
Which seems safe in this matchup.
I agree. And
like Bowman probably doesn't have his Punishing Fires.
No, but he does have 3 Dark Confidants.
Oh, well, he can bring the beats. They're not getting blocked.
That's for sure. And he can even gain some life if he wants a second Reserve Orb.
Ooh.
I mean, if he flips a sphere type thing, he might be all right here. It's just gotta hope that Jason doesn't have anything good.
Yeah.
Jason pondering here, looking for probably just more mana.
Yeah, he has the Doomsday in hand.
Oh, keeping. That's pretty bad news.
Yeah, when a combo deck keeps on their Ponder,
Oh, there's the Mox Opal.
which is live.
Oh, Lotus Petal. Storm is 3. Storm is 4.
He's going for it. Also, top is really, really good with Doomsday because it draws you into the first card of the pile.
Yeah, having a draw effect in play is great. There's a Dark Ritual, and there's a Doomsday.
Yeah, he's going to have the blue mana floating, I think, as well for Ideas Unbound. I think this is the kill. Like, I'm pretty sure he's good to go.
Burning Witch. Even doing it face up,
Yeah.
just to be nice. I mean, he's
Well,
gonna
and
be
he's
drawing.
going to storm for a ton.
He's already got Storm for...
Oh, he's getting Lab Maniac, it looks like. Or he's deciding whether he wants to Burning Wish for Tendrils or Lab Maniac. The problem, Zurin Orb can gain Bowman life up to 23 here.
Yeah, and that way he has to Storm for 12.
Yeah, it's a lot. His storm so far is what? The Doomsday, the Dark Writ, the Mox Opal, the Lotus Petal, the LED,
And Ponder.
and Ponder.
So it's 6 currently.
Okay.
So 6, yeah. It looks like he's just going to kill him with Lab Maniac here.
Yeah,
this way
fine.
Yeah, this way he gets to... yeah, this should be sufficient.
Yeah, Ipoa in the chat says definitely a Lab Man kill.
Crack LED, cast Ideas Unbound, draw 3 cards,
Pretty sweet.
cast LED, cast top.
Does he have a mana floating?
He's going to probe and then
he's-
crack this in response, and then
Sure.
that's going to
Sees
play the Lab
Bowman's
Maniac.
hand. Another
or
probe.
probe, and then Lab Maniac draw a card with top, and that's game.
Jeez.
Several quick games we've seen in this
Yeah.
round.
Oh yeah, he was already up a game. Jeez.
All right, I'll go take a look and see if we have some more games going on. We still have quite a bit of time in the round.
All right, yeah, bring on the death.
All right. All right.
All right, well that was pretty cool. I wasn't expecting to see Lab Maniac today, but that's always welcome. So there was some discussion in the chat of what the pile was going to be there. I think Gitaxian Probe kind of makes piles a little simpler with Doomsday because just having the free cantrip, you can essentially make it like a 2-card pile because you can just put a bunch of probes and they're basically just like blank cards, right? What else going on here?
All right, got another match.
Oh my god. This timing is shockingly good, frankly.
We have a non-combo matchup.
Okay, so that might actually last more than 5 minutes.
Yeah, we actually have a Delver Mirror, but we have a non-conventional Delver Mirror.
Okay.
We have Nathan Mullen playing just Rogue Delver.
Okay.
Which is far and away the most tame deck I've ever seen him play.
Yes.
At least since he's played Burn.
Okay.
And then we have
This
Alex.
is Nathan on the right here. You can tell from his orange coat.
It's a beautiful coat.
Yeah, it's something. I'm gonna bring it down to the table now.
What's Alex's like? It's Alex Vallone.
That sounds right.
Should I go find out? I should go find out.
Maybe.
I asked him, and I only heard it kind of. I don't want to ask again. But he's playing Mono Blue Delver.
Okay, yeah.
And they're going to game 3.
I've seen the deck, and I haven't. I don't know. I guess you gain some amount of consistency.
It's a very different sort of Delver deck. I know it's very much focused. It seems to me to be very much focused on back to basics.
Yeah.
Which is like a pretty big haymaker.
And you get Vapor Snags, so there's that.
I love a Vapor Snag.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go find out his last name.
Yeah. Thank you. And we have Nathan on Rug Delver. If people wanted me to change it to Teamer Delver, just tell me in the chat, and I won't do it. And I don't know if these guys are in Game 3 necessarily, but I do think this matchup seems close. Back to Basics seems like a crazy haymaker, because that'll turn off all the lands in Nathan's deck.
Villano.
This?
Yep. All right.
Boom. Do you know if they're in Game 3? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
It's tied 1-1.
Great.
Looks like Nathan's got a hand with Delver, Brainstorm, Sulfuric Vortex, and I think no lands.
Bringing in Sulfuric Vortex.
I like it. I think it's one of the few. I think it's like the only way in his deck you can kill through a Back to Basics. Like
if you can get into play.
I mean, I'd assume that on the play it's fine.
Okay.
Like the tempo you gain on the play seems pretty strong.
Yeah.
And if Alex is able to answer like his creature threats, having something that's probably very hard for the mono blue deck to interact with is helpful.
Right.
Although he might have Hydroblast or something like that.
Yeah, he might have like 1 or 2.
Yeah. So
That definitely seems like his biggest weapon. For Nathan, his biggest weapon is probably just Tarmogoyf.
for sure. Tarmogoyf is just huge. So hard for like non-green decks to beat.
Mongoose is also pretty good actually, because he can't even bounce it or anything.
Looks like Nathan keeping a 5 with multiple wastelands, which has got to be a little awkward in the mono blue matchup.
Ugh. Well,
We do have the Goose though. Goose has got to be a pretty good start here. I see a Dismember in Alex's hand.
that's not good against Goose.
No.
No days, I guess.
No, I guess Days I think is probably his only answer here.
I think I see a Spellstarter Sprite though.
Ooh, that's a nice one.
It's
I
something.
love Spellstutter Sprite. Actually, that's just I don't even know why I said that. I don't love Spellstutter Sprite. It is an average Magic card.
Yeah.
All right, we got a quick fetch for Alex down to 19. Getting another island. Oh, these islands are fantastic though.
You like white border?
I do.
You're a weird person.
That's also true.
So he's at 19, right? Sorry.
Mm-hmm. He's got I think that's a Ninja of the Deep Hours in his hand.
Oh, yeah, he definitely plays that card.
That is real nice.
Yeah, well, you're mono blue. You kind of have to make do with the creatures that they've given you. Grafdigger's Cage.
And that's getting sprited.
What?
I mean, this actually works out fine for Nathan. It's an artifact in the graveyard for Goyf, and it's
Does Cage turn off Ninja?
No, I don't believe
Then
so.
why is it in the deck?
So Ninja of the Deep Hour is a creature going into play from your hand. Grafdigger's Cage just stops it from the library or graveyard, I believe.
Yeah, it's not like...
Grafdigger's Cage.
Yes. It's not
Ooh.
like...
Nathan going to 17 here.
Sure.
And Alex drawing that pretty important card there, especially Nathan mulliganing.
Is it back to basics?
I'm not
Oh,
sure.
drawing a card with Ninja, I
Just
see.
drawing a card seems
Right.
great. Nathan bashing for 1 and then playing a Goyf.
Tarmogoyf is a 3/4 currently, looks like.
It is. I believe it's probably going to eat that Dismember in Alex's hand.
That seems like a worthy thing to pay for life. Nathan also not close to turning on his Nimble Mongoose.
No.
He might wind up wasting his own waste just to add 2 cards to his graveyard.
Possible.
It might come to that.
Alex does have, looks like his hand is Gut Shot,
Okay.
Sprite, I think a Hydroblast, or it might be a Brainstorm. Yeah, he's going to
Here's
fire off the
Dismember.
Dismember. So Alex went to 15, and I think he's going to put Nathan to 15 as well.
Actually, there's also an attack from the Mongoose, so I think he's at 1 fewer.
And then Nathan's at 15.
So many changes.
Oh no, that's actual Counterspell is that white border card.
Oh, jeez.
Oh yeah.
This seems really bad for Nathan.
Yeah, I mean, when like the Rug Delver deck can't do its Wasteland Stifle You plan,
Yeah.
it just sort of operates like a crappy creature deck.
I mean, you could draw...
Oh.
Actually, Rough Tumble is really good here.
For sure. Rough Tumble seems like a very good card in this matchup. That's sort of like the big thing with Rug Delver in general, is that's its sort of mirror breaker card.
Yeah.
Being able to kill like Stoneforge Mystic.
Getting you out of the situations where it seems like
Yeah.
how on earth can they come back?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you just sweep away all their idiots and then just start beating down with a giant Tarmogoyf for a bunch of 3/3 Mongoose.
I think people thought that deck was going to come back. I already did that.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm an idiot.
I think people thought Rug Delver was going to come back more than it did. Like when we were in Indy, there was a ton of that deck.
Yeah.
It did not really do that well for the amount of pilots it had.
Yeah, I mean, the deck's still good, I think.
It's okay. People know how to beat it, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a deck that's certainly beatable, and I don't know how favored it is in Delver Mirrors.
Yeah.
Ooh, Nathan just going to bolt Alex.
Spell Stutter to counter.
Alex going to Spell Stutter the bolt.
Stifle on the Spell Stutter sprite's ability.
I like that.
That's pretty cool.
I like this play. I think the Wasteland play is actually going to come up really soon here because
he has 5 cards.
Well, this is going to be the 6th. The Stifle's going to be the 6th.
Oh, you're right.
And anything he Wastelands will be the 7th.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really important that he makes this a 3/3 soon.
He could almost just waste Alex's fetch, force him to fetch, and it might even screw up a Brainstorm or something. Looks like he does not opt to do that though.
Oh, and it's important to know he was bolting the Ninja, which is the way that Alex is really pulling away.
Yeah.
He does have a Brainstorm here though, which drew him into another Dismember, a Snapcaster, and a
Nathan did not waste the Misty.
Yeah.
Like, what does he need the second colorless mana for?
I mean,
just casting things under a back to basics.
I guess so.
Just save your lands, I guess.
I think I would have been tempted to just like make my Mongoose thresholded right there, getting the extra damage. Like any extra turns you're giving Alex when he especially when Nathan's mulliganed. He's down several cards because of the Ninja that depowers. I think he needs to make up that advantage somehow, and the best way to do that is to close the game out as quickly as possible.
Yeah. And Mongoose is really hard for Alex to deal with, and bigger than anything in his deck once it gets to Threshold.
Oh, for sure. Anything but like his own flip Delver. I think he's definitely going to consider... He does have a Snapcaster in his hand.
Yeah.
And I think he might consider just in-combat double blocking.
Okay.
So there's the Brainstorm, which will make the Mongoose thresholded. And Alex, I think he's got Spell Pierce and Counterspell.
Okay.
And Snapcaster Mage. I would be a little tempted to Counterspell here, but with Nathan, this is, he's going to draw 3 cards and put 2 of them on top of his deck. He has no fetch land in play. I think it's fine to let it resolve.
Not that great.
No. This is like about as bad as a Brainstorm can get.
Right.
Did find a Tarmogoyf, though.
It's one of his best cards, but Alex still has a Counterspell.
He has Counterspell, he has the Snapcaster for a Dismember, and he has another Dismember. So he's got answers for days. Looks like Nathan...
This is an attack for 3. This looks like a Ambush Viper.
Oh, yeah. Get in there, Snapcaster. This will probably target the Brainstorm in that case.
The only problem with this play is that it's going to leave Alex with no creature in play if he double blocks.
Yeah, and I think he's just not worried about time, given how up he is on cards.
Sure.
Which is fine. Yeah, he's just gonna double block.
Nathan trades. Now Alex still has access to that Brainstorm, presumably.
He's just gonna jam this Goyf. This Goyf, creature, instant, land, artifact. I don't believe there's a sorcery.
Nope. By Pina.
No, it's
does not look like there's a sorcery.
Yeah, it's just 4.
Yeah.
Instant creature, land, artifact.
Not the one you'd typically expect.
No, especially, I mean, Nathan's deck is about as light on sorceries as it gets.
Yeah.
For like,
just ponder and maybe probes.
Maybe.
Couple. Looks like Brainstorm in response. Nathan is very wisely fetching or wasting in response to the Brainstorm. I like this.
Yeah, I like this too. Denies him that free shuffle.
Yeah.
So now he has to draw at least one of these cards if they're all just complete bricks.
Right.
I like this play a lot. And Alex, not one to just get Stone Rained, will fetch his land down.
Aztec in the chat asks, did Nathan break his arm or something? I think Nathan just has a carpal tunnel, similar to Caleb Durward has similar braces that he wears when he plays Magic.
Yeah, just keeping the wrists from hurting too much when you're
Yeah,
playing.
my wrists kill me, but I don't have cool braces like that.
You should pick some up.
I could.
Too poor?
I don't know.
I could loan you some money.
They're not that bad. I use them all day at work. I'm on a computer, so it's like that's probably not doing anything good for it either.
You should. Can you automate that sort of thing? Get like a robot to do it.
Just turn me in. Yeah. Don't pay me.
No.
Don't bother paying me.
No, I think a robot would do your job great.
Probably.
So-
Probably actually way better than me. Let's be real.
And so Alex brainstorming, and then he's going to fire off that dismember going to
Sure.
7. So this is kind of the situation I'm talking about with the Vortex. Like, you can just sort of, put Alex on a bunch of reactive spells, and then just jam a Sulfuric Vortex. Although Mutavault kind of screws that up.
Yep.
But he at least has the Wasteland.
Right.
Alex is at 7 now.
Ah, thank you. DevClock asked me in the chat, where's the Tarmogoyf dice? Well, they forgot to use it. Sorry.
We got a Vendilion Click here. And Nathan, of course, only has the Flooded Strand, which he had to brainstorm back to the top of his deck.
Okay.
Nathan taking 3 down to 11 here.
Okay.
Alex not even going to attack with the Mutavault. Nathan drew his own Vendilion Click, and it's getting counterspelled. Counterspell is sitting in Alex's hand for several turns.
Yeah, this position for Nathan seems horrendous.
And
Nathan fetching here.
he's just going to get another Volk.
Sure.
Opening up the possibility of Vortex. Now Vortex, by the way, gone from all right to horrible.
Our fearless leader, Satsu Kawai, just texted me, reminding me to tell everyone that the giveaway is before round 4. We're giving away a Japanese copy of Time Spiral. It's in lightly played condition. And it looks like Mark is not going to be able to physically make it to the store tonight because he's too busy. So we're not going to have like the physical card to show you guys, but we can tell you exactly what we are giving away. And this looks like a Snapcaster on a counterspell and a concession.
Yeah, there you go.
So, if anyone was curious whether he needed a lot of money to boogie in Legacy, Alex is 2-0.
Yeah. At least I think so.
Yeah.
he is at least 1-1.
He's 2-0 in our hearts.
Correct. But I like the looks of this deck. I mean, it's you just like never lose to Wasteland,
Right.
which is really really nice.
Back to Basics is a Blood Moon-esque threat.
Yeah, it is the hammer.
Yeah.
It takes certain decks down completely.
Yep.
Even like monocolored decks can get completely hosed by a card.
Yeah.
Like that.
I've lost to Blood Moon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've been Blood Mooned in both Storm and Elves.
Yeah.
Which is just somehow
bizarre.
I've been like Price of Progress, Blood Moon, all these decks.
So weird.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring up Back to Basics and bring it back to the booth.
Oh yeah.
We got 3 matches on camera this round. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
B33 asked what the raffle is tonight. It's a Japanese Time Spiral. Thank you, Colexel, in the chat.
Same set as Back to Basics.
Yes.
It's probably would have been a mythic rare if it was printed today.
Probably. Hopefully.
I think pretty easily. I mean, this is a really powerful card.
It does feel pretty mythic, I suppose.
Yeah. I think the sweetest part about this card is that it's incidental dredge hate.
Probably.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you shuffle their graveyard in and they have to start all over again.
That is the first thing I thought of as well.
Yeah, it's pretty fancy.
Great minds think alike.
Mm-hmm.
Colexo asks, "Where is Creepy Janitor?" I want his jacket.
Is he not here anymore?
Jesus. I guess he's gone.
Disappeared.
We didn't even notice him leave. Actually, I think. Maybe he'll be back later.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of hiding room in this in our little closet.
Yeah, there are all these suitcases over here. Maybe he's in one of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is funny. I think these are the suitcases they use to the store uses to go to GPs and carry all their inventory.
Okay. So we're among the luggage.
Yeah. So if you ever want to go to a GP, you just stow away.
Yeah, just hide in one of these nice little suitcases
Yeah.
here. Wind up in maybe Vegas or
Right.
maybe somewhere worse.
Maybe
Depends.
What's coming up that's particularly shitty?
Cleveland.
Ooh, Cleveland for a limited GP. Ooh.
Hey, don't knock limited GPs. I am a huge fan of limited GPs. They're so much fun.
I've played one, I think.
And?
I made money.
You made money?
Yeah.
All right, which one?
GP Indianapolis a few years ago, the Christmas one.
Return to Ravnica.
Yeah.
I couldn't go. I remember that. You cashed that?
I beat Michael Majors in day 2. He was not happy. I drafted it was It should have been a train wreck. It really should have. It was 3 colors in that format, which was very aggressive.
And 2 color.
Yeah, everyone was playing like green white.
Yep, green white, red black.
Yeah.
Red blue even.
So
Frostburn Weird Pursuit of Flight.
I think Sphinx's Revelation was one of my first picks in the draft, and I ended up with a deck with that and 2 Street Spasms. So I kind of just
moved in on blue, white, red control.
Yes.
So that's certainly. So I want to point out how strange this is in particular, because in that format, the blue-red decks, everyone started by drafting blue-red control, and then about halfway through the format, they realized
turned to tempo.
Yeah, because blue-red control was horrible.
Yeah, you used to play like a bunch of 5/2s and like bounce spells and stuff, right?
Cobble Brute and Pursuit of Flight,
right?
And the most important card was Frostburn Weird.
Yeah,
that card was fantastic.
The 1/4 that's secretly a 4/1.
Oh yeah,
or and not so secretly.
You just slap a Pursuit of Flight on there, make it fly, hit them for 7, do whatever you want. They're dead. It's great.
Sounds great.
But yeah, so you somehow drafted an unplayable deck and beat a very good Magic player.
Yeah, that was awesome. He was really salty. So he wasn't expecting the second Street Spasm.
Probably not.
No one really ever does, though.
The last limited GP I went to was Baltimore.
Okay.
Kanzatar Kier, and I missed money in the last round.
Oh, that sounds great.
It was great.
What was your record in your second draft?
My second draft, I was playing for 3-0.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's tough.
Yeah, well, I mean, my first draft I 0-3'd.
So that means you started 8-1?
No, I was 7-2.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, I was 7-2. So I lost to 2 Grand Prix winners on day 1. I lost to current Grand Prix champion Jack Fogel, who I drove with. For we played.
It happens so often that you play a car mate in a
huge tournament. Yeah.
Too often.
I mean, So I ended up playing him at like 6-0.
Okay.
He beats me. We had like very similar decks with Ghost Fireblade. And he drew Ghost Fireblade and killed me.
That card's really good.
Yeah. And then in the last round, I lost to GP Vegas champion Neil Oliver.
Oh, he's very good.
Especially at limited. He is extremely good. And he crushed me.
That sounds great.
And my day 2 draft pod had Brian Bronduin.
Okay. He's okay.
Brock Parker.
Oh, he's very good at limited.
Yep.
For a long time.
Oh, and Shuhei Nakamura.
Well, he's that kind of type that just like plays a lot, so that's how they get good, you know.
Yeah, that's got to be it.
Yeah.
That's what happens. That's how you get in the Hall of Fame.
I think so.
Just play a lot. You'll get there, kids.
Try again.
But
you'll win eventually.
I put against BBD in the first round, and his deck had 2 Ash Cloud Phoenix in it. I did not win the games.
That's probably like top 5 cards in the set you could have.
It's pretty good. I mean, it's like just really hard to answer.
Yeah, it's an unkillable, near unkillable flying dragon, basically.
Yeah. It's really, really annoying.
It's also really good when you're behind,
Yeah.
because it probably just trades with your best threat and comes back.
It's pretty annoying. My deck was pretty bad, but I had high Sentinels in it.
That card's really good too.
Yeah. And I beat him in the games where he didn't cast Ash Cloud Phoenix and lost, or the game, and I lost the games where he did. Mm-hmm. And I ended up losing more in this draft. But yeah, I really enjoy. It was my first time doing like a timed, a called draft, and that's really interesting to me. It's really fun.
Yeah.
It was really difficult.
It is definitely. I think this format too, because there's so many directions you could go.
Absolutely.
In pack 1,
Yeah.
Pack 3 gets easier because you know where you're at.
Yeah.
Pack 1.
Yeah, you could be anywhere. Pack 1 now I think is quite a bit easier because of.
I guess you're only assuming you're getting like 5 or 6 cards anyway.
Yeah. Well, I was just saying when you're playing Fate Reforged, you just take the rare.
Okay.
And you just go from there. Like the rares are very, very, very powerful in Fate Reforged by a lot. The rares and the top uncommons are just so far ahead of the rest of the cards.
Yeah.
But this was triple KTK, and it was quite difficult. I did poorly, as I said. My second draft deck, I drafted like this Secret Plans Trail of Mystery deck. And it was excellent. It was very good. I told you I was playing for 3-0.
Yeah. So you went for it.
I moved in. we just went in on it. Awesome.
I guess triple KTK. That's a lot more feasible.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now I don't even know how you can.
Yeah, it's hard.
You're rolling dice that one even gets opened.
Yeah, and
you're definitely getting passed to you.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting because Secret Plans does work favorably. favorably with manifests.
Sure.
So you still get your 2 3s, but it's a little tough.
Yeah, Hydro Killer in the chat. We're actually waiting on round 3. The clock counting down on the upright is the time left in round 2.
Yeah.
We got to see parts. Well, 1 complete match and parts of 2 others this round. So we got to see a lot of games of Magic this round.
Yeah, I gotta say they weren't very close though.
All of them were not close.
Yeah.
Sorry, all.
Yeah, we saw 4 games, and then they were
all blowouts.
Yeah.
Round 1, we saw a bunch of close games that took the full round.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Like you get seeing like a real it was a slugfest.
Yeah, 2 fair slow decks.
Yes.
Stoneforge Mystic decks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's gonna take some time. Oh, sorry, Hydro. Let me reset the overlay. He saw this. That makes sense. My laziness.
Slacker.
Yeah. Jameson is nicely reminding me that I'm a slacker.
Oh, speaking of Jameson, let's once again thank MTG Card Market.
Oh, good call.
Yeah.
Good timing.
Hosting us.
This is their sleeve. You guys probably see it. A lot of good players use this at tournaments.
Players better than us.
Yeah, Andrew Beckstrom.
That guy's way better than us.
He's way better than both of us.
Oh, yeah.
I think I owe him like a lot of money probably because he kept telling me what to do with Mono Blue last year, and I kept doing pretty well. So
Nice.
That worked out.
Yeah, he beat for the national team. He beat Matt Hoey in the finals, right?
Yeah, I was there.
Two
It
good,
was great.
2 good Magic players.
I really like Hoey.
Oh, yeah.
Like Hoey's a great guy.
For sure. Yeah.
But he was playing Pack Rat, so I mean, and I drove with Beckstrom, so I obviously have to root for him.
Viking Milo. I think the sleeves are pretty nice actually, and they're pretty cheap too, right?
Mm-hmm.
I usually like. I feel like sleeves in general for a Magic player are.
It's a very personal item.
Yeah, it's not like a religious thing, but like a ritualistic thing.
Yeah, I get you. It's like a baseball player and his glove.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you need the same thing.
Yeah.
In a very specific way. And you get used to it.
Do you have a go-to?
Yeah, I almost always use the KMC Matte Dark Blues.
Yeah, I use those a lot.
Yep.
I waffle between those and various colors of Dragon Shield. But I think, probably the matte dark blues are just the best.
Will we ship the raffle card in one of those sleeves?
Probably.
I would be surprised.
I don't want to promise you.
Yeah, for those protecting Dragon Shields, I will say, it's really, really frustrating when you open a pack of sleeves and they are like at least 10 different sizes.
Yeah.
Like that is just.
It's happened to me before. It hasn't happened in a while.
It tilts me to no
It's
end.
very upsetting because you're just screwed.
Yeah, I mean they had like the
new ones. I think the new ones are like. I like the way the old ones feel, but the new ones aren't going to be miscut.
Yeah, that's all that I care about.
Yeah.
I bought like a few packs of the new ones because I was just told that they were good, and they in general I think it's pretty safe to say that Dragon Shields split far less than any other. They just don't split.
The new ones will split more than the old ones do, and also the corners will get bent more, but they don't get dirty as quickly. Old Dragon Shields get really dirty really quickly.
Yeah, they get disgusting, grimy as hell.
It's great. It's great.
Yeah. I like the KMC ones a lot.
Yeah,
they've been good.
The mats take a long time to get dirty. They don't really, like the corners don't really bend that much. They don't split very often. You split them?
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of a rough shuffle. I always shuffle like with the corners and stuff like that. So I think we're pretty close to the round. I guess we have 3 minutes.
Yeah,
left.
the turnover's gonna be soon. I don't know if you want to like open that door.
I'm gonna go.
You can go hang out
scope it
there.
out. Yeah.
Sounds good. You can ask who's 2-0.
Yeah.
All right. So we have Phil in the field. What's going on in the chat here? Let me focus on you guys. Sorry that I've been talking to that guy. Everyone has all these opinions about the best sleeve. What else going on? Is anyone excited for any tournaments coming up? I think I'm playing a modern PTQ or pre-PTQ over the weekend, so we'll see how that goes. But past that, there's not a ton coming up. I know Phil was talking about GP Cleveland, which is not too far from Chicago, in a few weeks. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to attend that, but I know a lot of people will be driving. It's about a 5.5 hour drive from Chicago. People talking about the new dragon shields in the chat. I know, yeah, they're talking about the different colors that have been released. Turquoise was the first one they did, but I think, yeah, Copper and Fusion have come after that. Oh, Cook the Fourth, you're right. There's SCG Baltimore this weekend, which is the first SCG where Modern is the primary format. So that's pretty awesome. And Horizon says they are playing SCG Chicago the weekend before their birthday, so that's pretty sweet. Retro is going to GP Cleveland, yep. Really wish I could go to that, because I haven't played a limited GP in a long time, and it sounds fun. This block seems really good for limited. I haven't played it as much as I would like to, just sort of the way that my weeknights fall. I don't get the opportunity to, but sounds good to me. Colexel, I think the entry fee for SCGs now is, I believe, $50. I think it might have gone up with the new format. I could definitely be wrong. So I think it's 50. I could be wrong. Sorry. What else going on here? I wonder what's going to happen at that tournament too, because you're going to get all of the Satsukwai asks what happened. We're just we're between rounds here. Phil's out in the field. The third round's about to start, and yeah, Phil's out in the field. He's looking to see what decks are 2-0 and what we're gonna put on camera next round.
Oh jeez, it sucked.
Yeah, that matchup doesn't seem good. Andrew Bowman.
I should have mulled the Chalice. That's kind of my only hope.
It's tough though, because like, if he has a slow hand, Bob might be able to draw you into it. And every time you mull, like, you just have a better and better chance of having a hand that actually doesn't do anything.
I had mulled 4 times in those 2 games.
Yeah.
So it's just,
you know what you're playing against.
Not what I want to be facing.
Right.
That and I totally didn't. I brought in a Nephalia Drownard and a Worm Harvest in my sideboard for the Miracles matchups, and I didn't put 2 and 2 together and see that Bogner and Nick weren't showing up tonight. So
yeah, that's right.
Those may not be used. Those could have been Trindaspheres.
Didn't work out.
A lot better.
We got some interesting choices at least.
Okay.
I know that. So we saw Kyle. Kyle's 2-0. We saw Jason. Jason's 2-0.
Okay. I know people like watching Doomsday.
Yeah. I mean, combo versus combo is at least I think as fair as it gets when we see these matchups. Like at least Doomsday versus a deck with Force of Will.
Yeah. That probably favors Sneak and Show significantly, I would think. Think of it like Storm versus Twin in Modern.
Well, I would just think of it like, well, if I'm thinking of like Storm versus like
Storm versus Ant, yeah, or Storm versus Reanimator, sort of like that.
I think it's closer to Storm versus Sneak and Show. Like
okay.
I mean, Doomsday is basically a Storm deck.
Yeah.
But I actually think that matchup's fine for Storm. I think it's not that bad.
All right.
You have a lot of disruption.
I guess the discard's really good.
Yeah, like the way they kill you usually is by top decking.
Sure.
From my experience, like it's annoying to fight through their counters, but there's that. There's I know that Joe is playing Esper Worldgorger, and he just drew with Tony.
How many?
Are pairings up?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go take a look.
I trust your judgment, Phil.
Who are you playing? Who are you playing?
Apparently there are 4 2-0s. Phil's going to make a judgment call on who we're putting on camera. I know there was some discussion above of the prize pool for the SCGs now. It pays down, so it's $50 for open, so that's an increase in the cost. But the flip side is it's not that hard to make day 2. You only have to go 6 and 3, depending on the number of people. But so far, I think basically every time it's 6-3 makes day 2, and essentially you will have to go, I think 10 and 5 to make money. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, 64th is where it starts paying out, and I think typically 10 and 5 will get you there. You might not get there with 10 and 5 if your breakers are bad. You might have to be 10-4 and 1 in that case. But the amount of money for the amount of people is really, really good, because like top 16 gets $325, which is pretty solid, really. Like, you compare it to the money per person in the event, or money, like dollars per capita, I suppose, in the tournament compared to a GP, and I think SCGs are way better value. Obviously, GPs have the allure of like a Pro Tour invite potentially, although SCGs have the allure of a SCG Invitational invite.
Luis Ruiz
versus
Joe Ryder.
Nice. This is sweet. All right, I'm gonna bring it down to the table because the players are sitting down.
You guys are sick of looking at us.
Yeah. So we have Joe on the left. He's playing Esper Worldgorger.
Oh yeah.
Oh jeez. I wonder if he took Kyle's exact list.
I'd assume it's very close.
Yeah.
I believe he is 1-0-1.
Why not? How many games do you think they played?
Well, Joe refused to concede basically when he was dead on board. I mean, that's his choice.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to concede. Like,
is Luis 2-0, do you know?
I believe so.
Okay.
Luis is playing... I can go check, but he's playing
we'll see.
Bant Stoneblade.
Oh, okay.
Or at least I think that's an appropriate name for it. Oops, Greenson's gonna fall out there. I like these. I like the other name for the Bant deck that I think Sam Black called it, or maybe Andrew Cuneo. Feces Bant.
Why?
That's what they call. I remember when Sam Black top 8'd. Come on, buddy.
Some tournament, some GP.
It was GP Washington D.C.
Oh, it was the one that Owen won.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sam top 8'd with it's just a Bant, mid-range deck, a Bant Stoneforge Mystic deck
with True Name and.
Yeah, and
it was just quick True Names, right? That was the whole allure.
Turn 2 True Name.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like
that deck.
Yeah, it's Noble Hierarchs and the like.
Yeah. Fuck that deck.
But it's got Knight of the Reliquaries in it.
Yeah.
At least I believe I saw some. Because he's playing Green Sun Zenith.
Pardon my language, everyone.
Do you not like this deck?
It's a rated R stream, so we're good.
Yeah.
We're good. You guys signed up for this.
$23 for sure.
Shipped. Nice.
Oh,
I wonder how much it is if you come here and pick it up in person.
All right, looking at openers. Luis looking at a hand with very little disruption for the combo.
Kalexo wants it on polos.
Ooh.
I could get behind that.
That'd be nice.
It's got to be a good quality polo, though.
All right, both players keeping 7. Luis drawing Batterskull. Everyone wants to draw Batterskull today.
Yeah.
It's a good card.
Gotta love an opener with Batterskull in it.
Joe got the fearsome Nephilia Drownyard.
Yeah, it's a win condition.
Oh yeah, he's got Necromancy, Thoughtseize.
He has the Worldgorger in hand, which is bad.
Yeah, I finally looked at a list for this. I didn't realize that they only play like
a couple.
Yeah, like 2 Worldgorgers.
Being Esper, they're kind of trying to play a longer game, which is strange.
It's a control deck with a combo finish, right?
Yeah, but it's not like really a control deck. It's just like a combo deck that has some more disruption.
Yeah, I mean, there's Thoughtseize and...
not just discard or counters. It's like discard, counters, and removal.
Swords is an important card. There are a lot of really annoying things for this deck between Deathrite Shaman, I don't know, a random main deck Containment Priest, Thalia.
Indeed.
Maybe Gaddock also stops the combo, I believe. Alright, looks like we got turn 2 Stoneforge Mystic. Joe's going to respond. Oh, Joe's letting it resolve.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming Luis is going to get some sort of Jitter Sword, given that he drew that Batterskull.
I think we have Kyle. Oh, no. I think we have Kyle in the chat here as white, blue, black, red, green.
There you go.
He's the primary person who's been tuning this list locally recently. He's been doing quite well with it.
Yeah. Okay, so Luis, after he drew that Brainstorm for turn, he end of turn brainstormed back the Batterskull, and so he was able to draw a card with when he Stoneforged for it.
Yeah.
It's a nice interaction.
Yep. That's the way that you do it.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if Joe's just going to Thoughtseize him now. He's got Brainstorm, the Dragon, a Cunning Wish, Necromancy, Dig Through Time, and I think a Snapcaster Mage is his
He has no other way to... He kind of needs more lands, and he also doesn't have a way to get the Worldgorger out of his hand. If he had drawn a fetch there, it would have been great, because he could have put the Worldgorger back and shuffled it away. Unfortunately, he did not.
I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that he ends up Thoughtseizing himself this game.
It could happen.
He has two. And I'm pretty sure he's going to fire one off right now.
On Louise.
Yeah.
Yeah, not himself yet.
He's going to go to 18 here.
Worst case, you just take the Batter Skull, which is going to clock you.
Yeah, and it looks like Luis's only form of interaction is just 1 daze.
Which I don't think Joe even needs to bother taking.
No, I mean, he doesn't have a way to... Oh, he is going to take it.
Okay. I guess he doesn't have any more lands, so it could be annoying. And he has a bunch of 3-drops.
Yeah, he does. He does have quite a few 3-drops, and he knows his next 2 cards aren't land.
Right. Yeah, it was really unfortunate him not hitting a fetch there.
Luis just tapping 3 and playing a knight. And swinging for 1.
Yeah.
Joe going to 16 here.
Cool.
After the attack. Drawing the Dig Through Time he put back. I think he's just going to try and fill up his graveyard and just cast this as fast as possible.
Right. Dig definitely seems necessary. He might snap a Thoughtseize.
I think I'd be a little more interested in snapping a Brainstorm here.
Okay.
Trying to hit another land.
Yeah.
Especially given that he... I mean...
He only knows 1 card on top now? Or does he know
yes.
0?
No, he knows 1 card.
Okay.
Because he main phased.
He brainstormed last turn, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Brainstormed and then Thoughtseize. So he's going to cast Snapcaster here.
See what he decides.
I believe Luis
So he's going for Thoughtseize.
Yeah, Luis's draw.
He's targeting himself.
Yep, almost fell for it. And he's going to get that Worldgorger out of there. Luis's draw for the turn was Jace.
Okay.
Let's see what he gets here. Hopefully a Force Will if he wants to stay in this.
No. Well, we can play Jason, turn it into a Force Will, maybe. Although, yeah, he has a blue card.
I kind of like that. I mean, especially knowing that Joe... I mean, the downside of this Thoughtseize is that he gets to reveal his entire hand, so, you know, he knows next time he has the kill in play.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just going to tap out for this Jason. Probably.
Pray.
I think he just has to Brainstorm here.
Yeah, he does. He has a blue card to pitch. He has that Daze.
No, he doesn't.
Or no, he doesn't anymore.
He has another Stone Fort. He's just going to Fate Seal.
Oh.
And hope that Joe doesn't get
Keep
there.
him off the reanimation.
I mean, he knows he has the Necromancy.
Oh, he's going to turn it into a Wasteland.
Ooh, this is very nice.
You can take away the Drown Yard.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little risky because Joe... Well, I guess he doesn't have he doesn't currently have the 3rd land for Necromancy.
I mean, yeah, this Wasteland is doing a lot of work, especially because he knows the top card of his deck now,
Right.
which he left there, is not a land.
So he went after Underground Sea, not after the Valley of Drown Yard. Interesting.
I think it's like fine.
Close.
I think it's fine either way. I mean,
Yeah.
he's gonna Wasteland him again next turn, and then again next turn.
Yeah.
And now Joe's in a world of trouble. He's just bricked on this land. He's gonna lock himself.
He can't get out from under this Knight.
He did find an Entomb,
Okay.
which is
It would be
important.
good if he had he has Entomb and he has Animate Dead. So like he only needs 1 black source, but he's not going to have one after next turn.
No, what I believe he's gonna end up doing is he's gonna put back 2 of his crappier cards.
Okay.
Well, I think I would have put back one of the reanimation effects, but he's gonna have to upkeep Entomb.
Okay.
Well, I guess he's not gonna have the. Never
He's
mind.
not going to even have the black.
Yeah, I guess.
Luis probably won't let him untap with it. It's clear that he's a little bit choked on colored mana.
See, and
So
Luis.
he brainstormed.
Yeah, choosing to brainstorm, because Joe
He
knows-
brainstormed. Like Joe brainstormed, so
Yeah, and Joe misses land drop.
yeah.
So-
No reason to dig him any deeper down.
I mean, this is just like the coast is clear for this knight to go to work, fetching wastelands every turn.
Yeah. This is another Knight.
Either a knight or a tree.
Green Sun for 2.
Probably getting a Scavenging Ooze, I'd imagine, if that's in his main deck.
Oh, that seems gross with the Worldgorger in the graveyard already.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure if he plays a main deck Ooze.
Probably plays 1.
It's funny because
Yep.
oh yeah, this is another card I noticed that he had in his main deck, which is just as problematic, was a Kasali Pride Mage.
Yeah. Also seems relevant.
Looks like Luis just putting Joe in the hard lock.
Yeah, Joe's draw was just a little too clunky.
Mm-hmm.
He was very close to stealing this game because Luis was vulnerable for a couple turns there.
Yeah.
The Knight really just closed this out, though.
If he had hit a land in one of those critical turns, I think he'd be able to get there. But
Right.
Joe now just on Nephalia Drown Yard, facing down what can only be another Wasteland, this Jace, this Ooze. This has got to be lights out.
Yeah. There's a question if Teague does anything in this against the combo. It doesn't seem like it would. It can stop dig through times.
I was gonna say it does and it doesn't. It stops the combo from killing you from a spell, but you can still just get milled out by Nephilia Drownyard.
And you can also Cunning Wish and get I guess they can't cast Time Spiral or sorry.
Certainly not that one.
Can't cast Blue Sun Zenith or Stroke of Genius.
No. Also can't even fetch Time Spiral. Because
as
you can tell on the screen right here, that one's a sorcery.
It's a great point.
Let's take a look at Nephilia Drownyard.
Sure.
Let's pull up that card.
I played that card.
I played a lot of this card.
Yeah. Well, if you played it at all, you probably saw it a lot because you were using it so much any game that you won.
Oh, man. Well, my opponents generally conceded after
After a few?
Oh, yeah.
Once you have 2 in play and you activated both end of turn?
Yeah. And Luis deciding that he doesn't even need to fetch another Wasteland here. He's just beating down with this Knight, trying to close the game in 2 turns.
He can just save any colored source. Like, save the remaining Wastelands in his deck for any colored sources out of Joe.
And I think that's very wise.
There's a little danger because if Joe can get a basic Swamp, I'm not positive Joe and Kyle's list is playing a basic Swamp, but that would be a little more difficult or problematic, I guess.
Yeah, this Knight is about to just crash in. If he can find a Swords to Plowshares here, this might be close to lethal.
Mm-hmm. This is a lot of damage.
I believe this is an attack for...
A lot.
12?
I crunched the numbers. It's a lot.
Doesn't even attack with the ooze.
So it's a chump. And hitting for 3.
Yeah.
Next turn, that should definitely be lethal.
Oh, certainly. Brainstorming again, finding a fetch land, and another Knight of the Reliquary, and this is over.
Yeah. Interesting.
Pretty strong showing from the Bant deck.
Yeah, this matchup doesn't seem great for them, but it's sort of like it seems bad in the way that any 3-color Stoneblade deck seems bad against combo game 1. Like,
yeah,
they're good at they're fine at beating like not great draws out of like basically any combo deck
for sure,
because they have like a little disruption interaction and a pretty robust clock.
Yeah, and just like the reliable, the old school legacy reliable plan of just fetch a Wasteland every turn.
Yeah, Knight of the Reliquary really closed that game.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it won the game completely. Like Knight of the Reliquary plus that Jace.
Right.
I mean, I would say the Jace was more supplementary than anything else.
Yeah, the Knight might have done it by itself.
Looks like... I think Joe running the old misdirection, put a token in my
well, he's playing Cunning Wish. Like, there's only so much he can board. He can put more Swords to Plow. Like, he probably had a Swords in his board to wish for. He might have just moved it to the main.
It's possible. I mean, Knight of the Reliquary seems really frustrating.
Yeah.
As well as Scavenging Ooze.
We didn't see any basics out of Joe that game. I think the deck plays some. I'm not positive.
Yeah. I don't know if Kyle can tune in there, let us know what's going on with that mana base. I would imagine you have room for at most 2 basics.
Yeah,
I
don't see Kyle responding with the number of basics in the deck, but
yeah,
things that Luis could bring in here. He could have Containment Priest.
That seems like a card he certainly has.
He can have some sort of enchantment destruction, maybe like another Kasali Pride Mage.
Here's a card he could have. He could have Humility.
He could have. He probably has Humility.
What do you think about Humility?
It's a little slow, but it's probably better than Jitte. I don't know. I don't know. He's probably like he's not boarding out Swords to Plowshares. You know?
Certainly not. I think this Bant deck seems really problematic for what the Worldgorger Dragon deck is doing.
Yeah, I guess a lot of his cards do interact. A lot of them interact not well against Joe's fastest draws. Like he probably doesn't have a ton of counter spells. And Knight of the Reliquary needs a little time to actually be meaningful.
It is a 3-drop with Summoning Sickness.
Yeah.
But
the first activation might not even be crippling.
True.
Like it was just Joe's draw. It happened to be extremely good against that.
Yeah, I don't think Knight is going to be doing a ton of work in this sort of matchup. I think the bigger issue is Scavenging Ooze, Kasali Pride Mage, Swords to Plowshares. Right. The decks generally play 3 to 4 copies of Daze, 4 Force of Will. I don't know if they can fit like Spell Pierce or stuff like that in there.
Yeah.
But post board probably has some other annoying counter spells like that. Maybe Crow's and Grip.
One of the best cards against Joe is probably also Rest in Peace, right? But
Yeah.
Luis probably can't afford to play that since he's playing neither Reliquary.
I would imagine that there are no copies of that in his deck. I think his Graveyard Hate is really just Scavenging Ooze and I'm not sure, maybe something like Relic of Progenitus, but even that's not very good against his deck.
Just hoping that he never plays against Dredge.
I guess so. I mean, the rest of his deck's fine against Dredge.
Actually, he could have Cage.
Yes, although that does turn off his Zeniths. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I mean, these decks usually are a little softer to graveyard strategy, but they have game. I mean, between stuff like bounce your Batter Skull to kill bridges,
Force of Will,
just a turn 2 turn 2 Scavenging Ooze activate with no.
That looks like a forest and no blue source.
And a Spell Pierce. Yeah, he's sending that one back. His only land was definitely forest.
There were a lot of counter spells. Maybe if he had Noble Hierarchy keeps. Although the Dazes don't do anything.
Daze is pretty bad there.
Basic Forest.
Yeah. Joe's got...
I don't know if Basic Forest belongs in Legacy outside of Elves.
I don't know, man. Basic Forest is a pretty good card. Let's see. Joe's got Thoughtseize, Underground Sea, Cunning Wish, Worldgorger Dragon.
Drew the Worldgorger again.
Yeah, not great.
Snapcaster, it looked like.
He also, I believe, only has one land again.
Yeah. Did he have a cantrip, did you see?
I don't believe so.
And he kept.
He had Entomb, he had Snapcaster, he had Engineered Explosives.
Did you see Animate Dead?
Did not.
Okay.
I don't think I think he has half. He has the Entomb, which is effectively half the combo.
Yeah.
I just don't think he has the other half right now.
Interesting.
He's going to play Underground Sea and Thoughtseize Luis.
So maybe a bit of a loosey-goosey one. Oh, Luis kept a pretty loosey one himself.
Oh boy, this is an interesting hand.
Well,
he's got a Force of Will.
He's taking the Force of Will.
I would imagine so. 2 copies of Brainstorm, Daze, Neither Reliquary, and our good friend Savannah.
Thoughts about Joe choosing to make Luis discard the Daze?
I don't love it.
I kind of love it.
Okay, I bet you do. He's actually just going to take the Knight here.
Okay.
I think this is because Joe has such a slow draw, and in particular such a mana light draw.
Sure.
Luis drawing... Neither Reliquary.
The perfect card.
Noble Hierarch, excuse me, right
perfect
off the top.
card.
That was a great draw.
Now he can cast Brainstorm.
Ooh, Ponder. Get that in before he can Daze it. And this looks like a shuffle to me.
Yeah, he needs lands.
3 spells. This is a test. This sort of Ponder. Like, you see things that draw cards, but yeah, I think Joe correctly deciding that it's not a keep there. I think he's just going to end up wasting his time and leaving himself open to a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't close.
No. It's just real bad.
Yeah.
Hopefully Joe can find a land here. It'll keep the train going as far as the combo goes.
Nice.
He still has a bit of work to do, though.
People are making deals in the chat.
All right.
Satsu just sold a T-shirt, it seems like.
Well, welcome to our chat market.
Yeah.
Have a good time. Be civil.
I hope Mark ran the numbers correctly on the cost.
Ooh, Luis with Tropical Island off the top.
Yeah, so he just had the perfect draws.
And here's Marsh Flats from Joe.
I guess taking the Knight's looking pretty good here, actually.
Yeah, it is.
Because Luis would have been able to play it that turn.
And Luis with an end-of-turn Brainstorm. He does have the Animate Dead.
Joe also did find the land. Joe knows that there's a Force of Will here, though.
So we got 3 cards incoming for Luis. Plains among them. Ooh, gotta follow.
Yeah. Thank you, Everett, in the chat. Also, we're in round 3. I want to remind you guys, after round 3, we're going to be giving away a Japanese version of
Time Spiral,
which I will pull up right now.
The card, not the set.
Yes.
We will not be giving away an entire copy of the set.
Yes, just the card in Japanese. Lightly played.
Ooh, Joe firing off the Indeterminate Tomb here. And Luis is going to respond by cracking his fetch land. Wonder what this means. What do you think he's going to do with this?
Hard to say.
Like, he's got access to at least a Force of Will.
Yeah. I think you fight over the Entomb as opposed to the reanimation spell.
Yeah, in this matchup, as opposed to normal Reanimator, it makes a bit more sense to do so because, this deck is really all about the Entomb. Like, the way they're getting the card in there is by entombing. Mm-hmm. They don't have Careful Study.
Yeah.
They don't have another, good way to get it in their yard.
Yeah.
He's going to Brainstorm first after shuffling, and he's just going to let the Entomb resolve. I think he's deciding to fight over something else at this point. I saw that he has a copy of Swords to Plowshares in his hand.
Okay.
So perhaps going to try and just get him with the trigger, which is my favorite way to go about it.
Right. I mean, if you have swords and you still have the force, you might be able to win that fight down the line.
And it looks like he is. He's got, his hand is Swords to Plowshares, Force of Will, Daze as his only other blue card, and Wasteland.
Sure.
So pretty good hand. Joe peeling land again, which is pretty excellent for him.
He might go for it, but it seems like it would be a little unwise to do so. He could also snap a Thoughtseize this turn to clear the way for next turn.
I think that's exactly what he's going to do
so
here.
He's fetching twice, playing right into Aven Mind Sensor.
Ooh. Luis representing it. 3 mana.
Yeah.
You know, a legacy staple.
Don't worry, it's not that good.
The Bird Wizard.
Yeah. I got people occasionally with it. It's not that good.
You get lucky, you know.
Yeah, Flicker Wisp is just so much better.
Agreed.
Probably play the 5th Flicker Wisp before the 1st Mind Sensor.
I think you played the 5th Flicker Wisp over, like, a lot of cards.
A lot of, basically the whole deck.
First Brimaz.
Oh, once they banned Cruise, that card came out of my deck so quickly. Mirran Crusader went right back in.
Oh, yeah. All right, here's Snapcaster.
Snap on, presumably, Thoughtseize.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's just going to attempt to Thoughtseize. And Luis just going to Daze. I like this play.
Yeah, it's a good Daze.
Yeah, like, this means that he's still... return to land and then realize that he could just cast the Daze for mana.
Yeah.
I actually like the return a little more.
Because
he's Brainstorm in his deck. You know, he can still just draw Brainstorm and shuffle that extra land away.
It's not like he has that many lands in play, though.
Ooh, that was
this is real good.
That was an amazing
draw.
draw.
Go after the white.
Yeah. Solid Prime Mage is an excellent draw. He can start beating down here for 2.
Yeah. I mean, he'll trade with the Snapcaster. I think
No, it's a 2/3.
Oh, 2 Exalted triggers.
Oh,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
He's gonna take.
Oh boy.
He's just gonna chump block.
He is chumping. I think he might not realize how big it is.
Oh, he thought
Yeah,
he
he's
thought he was.
pointing
Yeah,
now.
he thought it was trading, but
Yeah, I did too. I don't fault Joe for that one. Yeah, he bends it. Joe not one to take backsies.
land is a very good draw for Joe here. He could.
He can't go for it. He has to kill the Pride Mage.
I think he has to cast that Cunning Wish and try and get a Swords to Plowshares here. I think that's his
What's
out.
the artifact? Does he have Engineered Explosives in his hand?
He does.
So you can put that to 2 to force Luis's hand on the Pride Mage.
It's so slow.
It's
though.
quite slow without the 4th land.
I think I'd rather like if you're planning on drawing a 4th land, it makes more sense to just Cunning Wish to me, because that leaves you that lets you go Cunning Wish, get swords, cast swords, and then 3 mana left over. You can kill him.
Right.
Although it's worth noting, his reanimation spells. I think he has both Necromancy and Animate Dead in his hand. Here's
Everett in the chat, there's a question, how do I join the thing to get the Japanese card, the Time Spiral? We'll be doing a raffle after this round, and you're just going to have to input... what's that?
2 more.
2 more?
You just cast another Thoughtseize.
Ah, I see. Sorry. Inputting life totals. If you just... It's going to be exclamation point raffle. I'll give a demonstration in the chat so you guys know what's going on, but it's going to be... in a little while from now, probably about half an hour.
Ooh, this might be it. Joe, I think, is going to go for it now. Animate Dead on the Worldgorger. I don't believe...
What does he have in hand to use?
He has Cunning Wish.
Okay, that does it. And Luis has what left in hand?
Daze.
Okay.
There's Worldgorger. Here's the trigger. Float mana. Exile. Float mana. For those unaware, could you put a Worldgorger on?
Yeah. So Joe is demonstrating the loop here.
All right. I can explain how it works. So the Worldgorger deck plays a few copies of enchantment-based animation effects in Necromancy and Animate Dead. So the way it works is that you get Worldgorger into a dragon, you cast Animate Dead, Worldgorger comes into play, and it triggers. It will exile everything, including the enchantment on it, which is either Animate Dead or Necromancy, and all your lands. But then, once that all happens, since the Animate Dead is gone, Worldgorger goes back to the graveyard, so it'll trigger again. Animate Dead comes back; it can re-enchant it, and since your lands are being flickered over and over again, you can float mana at each juncture. Effectively, this makes as much blue. Oh, it's like Underground Sea and Tundra in his hand. In play, he makes as much blue, black, and white mana as he pleases. From that point, Cunning Wish is just a kill. Cunning Wish will fetch Stroke of Genius in the sideboard, which will make Luis draw his deck, which is real nice. I thought... so they recently unbanned Worldgorger Dragon.
Right.
And my first instinct was that it was just going to be a bad Reanimator deck.
Yeah, it seems like that's what everyone was saying.
Yeah. And then, Kyle is the guy who's been... Kyle Norman's been working on this deck quite a bit. And after, looking at I think he drew a lot of inspiration from Carson Cotter.
Yeah.
And the deck is very different. It's not... I think it's closer to Sneak and Show than it is to Reanimator.
Yep. The way it plays out. It has more control elements.
Yeah. Maybe that's even a bad analogy. I think it's closer to like a Thopter deck. In the sense that it's got because Thopter Sword is a combo.
Yeah, but it shifts gears quickly from being able to play a pseudo control game and then just comboing fully. Reanimator is traditional Reanimator with Grizzlebrand is so dependent on getting that very early reanimation and just having that be enough.
Yeah, and once you have Grizzlebrand in play, you just you have as many Forcibles as you want,
right? And
which is usually enough to lock up any game.
Yeah.
And in particular, you don't have this sort of weird setup where traditional Reanimator doesn't care about removal spells, whereas this deck has sort of different moving parts that it cares about.
Yeah.
So it's set up very, very differently.
The problem with traditional Reanimator, you also if you don't have a super fast hand, you don't have Swords to Plowshares in your main deck to kill a Deathrite Shaman, for example.
You can just lose.
Yeah.
That's why certain versions were playing Show and Tells, and Luis just not drawing any lands at all. Looks like.
Yeah.
Mulliganing to 5.
Yeah, I think that's 2 of them.
Joe, very good at drawing Worldgorger again.
Oh, nice. It's sort of like drawing the Progenitus in Elves.
I would say it's quite a bit like that.
Yeah.
Except with small difference.
It's a little better here.
Yeah,
you
Joe
can at least Thoughtseize yourself and it does something.
Joe has Brainstorm in his deck.
Oh, that's a good point.
One time, I had Progenitus in my opening hand on the draw, and I just didn't play a land on turn 1, and discarded it to hand size. And it turns out just missing my land drop on turn 1 was enough to lose the game. But it was, Progenitus loves to creep into the hands of Elves players. It's very good at that.
I'm going to say bye to Cook the Fourth, who's going night-night.
All right.
Holding it down in the chat.
Thanks for visiting. Thanks for watching.
Sorry we couldn't have the raffle just yet.
And looks like Luis has a hand with lands. It's 4 lands, Knight of the Reliquary. Turn 1 Wasteland. I like Turn 1 Wasteland here. That's usually going to be good against anything Joe does.
Yeah.
Joe has Marsh Flats. I'm assuming he has a basic Swamp. Nope. Underground Sea. I think at this point it's fair to assume that there are just no basics in this deck.
Right. Yeah, I think I agree. Sorry, just resetting the raffle, getting it ready for later.
Yeah. We'll have it ready later.
Yeah, who are we kidding? That's what we're really here for.
Exactly. All these people just leeching onto the stream for free cards. God. Joe going to 19, not 10.
Good point. Ugh, God.
Come on, Greg.
It's late. It's not that late.
Tighten up.
Yeah.
We got a Thoughtseize, and we are taking the 1 spell. So Joe going to 17 after the Thoughtseize, and Luis hoping to draw spells at this point.
Kyle confirming in the chat there are no basics in the deck.
That's what I thought.
Sounds great.
If Joe had one, he had the option to fetch one, and he just didn't.
Yeah.
So it makes sense they didn't. So pondering here, Joe has plenty of lands. He has at least 2 more. He has a Flooded Strand and an Ophelia Drowned Yard.
Okay.
I think this is this is looking as bad as it gets for Luis. He has to draw pretty well to get out of here.
Captain in the comments is a very nice comment. Free card is good, but awesome commentary is why I'm here, guys.
Yeah.
Nice.
Doing our best. Thanks
There's
for the compliment.
At least one good person in the chat.
All right.
Probably exactly one good person.
Yeah. You guys should all agree with it.
Yeah.
Looks like Joe, thinking about this ponder. This ponder looks kind of... I saw 2 lands and a Snapcaster Mage.
Okay.
Which would be
and he
his...
kept.
Yes. Which would be his 4th and 5th lands.
Yeah.
I think one of his other lands is a fetch land, so I'm assuming he's going to shuffle away that last land. I think he wanted the extra land for Wasteland Insurance, and the Snapcaster just seems very good in this situation.
Right.
whether he's protecting his combo or just getting more value off of Flooded Strand.
Cool.
Luis just playing all the lands that Joe knows about from the early Thoughtseize. Not sure. He's kept his hand pretty tight, so I'm not certain if he's drawn out of it yet.
I kind of doubt it.
I mean, Brainstorm. You just got to draw Brainstorm, and he's just
that would
in this
help.
game.
That definitely help.
Step 1.
Yeah.
Let's see. And Joe draws Sword Splash. That's an excellent draw.
His hand is not fast, though.
No, and I believe he's missing both aspects of the combo right now. He does have a Dig Through Time.
One adorable thing he could set up is Brainstorm, put the Worldgorger on top of his deck, and then mill himself with Nephalia Drownyard.
That is nice. It looks like one of the cards Luis had drawn was Flusterstorm. He's
Okay.
going to Flusterstorm the Flashed Back Ponder.
Interesting.
I like that. His plan is to make... He needs to slow Joe down.
Yeah, make him work for it.
Yeah. I think Joe is just going to try and get this Dig Through Time to resolve, and then he should be able to win from there.
There's a mention of Pull from Eternity in the chat, so I'm just going to pull it up.
So the reasoning for this card as a wish target is so that you can beat the card Surgical Extraction. And even in fact, maybe you get both of them Deathrighted or something like that.
Yeah.
But it lets you beat cards like that, which is pretty difficult. Oof.
This is a Dig Through Time.
And
this seems good.
And it is resolving.
Well, that's a lot of lands.
Turns out it's only all right, but here's the thing with Dig. You still get 2 cards.
Yeah.
It looks like he's taking a second Dig and a Thoughtseize.
Sure, Thoughtseize sets up the next Dig.
Mm-hmm. That's the best part about Dig.
Yeah, you can even Thoughtseize yourself if you really want to ramp it.
I think that's what he's going to do. Oh, he's definitely going to do it now that he drew the Necromancy off the top.
Yeah.
I think he's going to Thoughtseize himself and just go for it. Although he doesn't have any other protection. Oh, no, he's a Force of Will. Oh, he's got Force of Will and Dig Through Time.
Yeah, and Luis has, 2 cards in hand?
I think the coast is clear. I would just go for it.
I think I would go for it. Worst case is not that atrocious for you. Luis has no clock in play.
But Joe decides to sort of...
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Wisely does not go for it.
Wow.
Luis with 3 interaction cards in his hand.
One of which is uncounterable, effectively.
I think that's the one you take.
This is amazing. Wow, I mean, Luis...
You take the unique card.
Luis not drawing threats that are... Threats, but drawing...
That's okay.
Yeah, drawing annoying cards.
Yeah. Wow.
I wonder if Joe's just going to try and ignore the combo for as long as possible now.
And just beat down with Snapcaster.
Wasteland.
Luis also definitely took 1 hit, right, off of the snap.
He is at 18, yes. And he's just going to Drownyard himself.
Yep.
Hitting some spells.
But it sets up Dig Through Time.
Oh, yeah.
It's a combo.
I wonder how much work Joe is going to put in to try and fight through both these Swords of Plowshares.
I don't know. Probably is looking for more Snapcasters.
Actually, I think what he's going to try and do is get a Cunning Wish and wish for silence.
Sure, that works.
That's going to be one of the easier ways. Yep, I see Kyle. Yep, suggesting the same thing. That way he's going to be able to just get through both of those cards.
Boom. Let's pull up Silence.
Look at this.
I'm going to pull up the original art.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
It's hard to tell the difference.
M10 printing.
Much better. Thank you.
Much.
All right, and Joe just beating down with a Snapcaster Mage.
Gotcha.
Oh, we got a spell.
Whoa.
I believe it's a True Name. Oh, no, it's a Knight of the Reliquary.
Not going to be as effective as last game.
No, certainly not. With Joe has Sword Splashers at the ready, and he's going to gain
4 life.
Yes.
So Joe really hurting his Snapcaster Mage beatdown clock here.
The anemic beats.
There's a big cost to casting Swords to Plowshares.
I guess so.
Yeah. This is a Dig Through Time for 3 mana, delving 5 cards. He leaves himself with a Cunning Wish in the graveyard.
This is actually pretty important that he leaves that card in his graveyard.
Yeah. Cunning Wish cannot often be flashed back because it exiles on resolution, but, when you mill it...
Sometimes you got to do it.
Yeah.
Again, this Dig Through Time is pretty unimpressive. He's found a Force of Will, Engineered Explosives, a few lands, and a Necromancy, which he just doesn't need right now.
Right.
And he's got Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize is fine. Thoughtseize is effectively the same as... it lets him remove one of the Swords and Plowshares waiting in Luis's hand.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely like taking Force of Will Thoughtseize here. He can Thoughtseize one of them away, and then hopefully maybe Force of Will the other 2.
It's interesting. Blackjack in the comments chiming in that a friend of his has been doing really well with the deck as well. it's not many people have written about it. Carson Cotter's articles very often go under the radar until everything he says is very, very true.
Oh yeah, he's very on point. The guy is
he wrote that article about Treasure Cruise when no one was on it.
No.
And then that same week, I think, maybe?
The very first weekend, it got first place by Bob Huang's Blue Red Delver.
Yeah.
And he was like...
It wasn't particularly close.
I think his next article was something along the lines of, I don't want to say I told you so.
Yeah.
Looks like we got the Entomb at the end of Luis's turn. Luis has drawn Brainstorm, which Joe's going to let resolve. We know he's got at least... He's certainly going to keep that Swords to Plowshares in his hand, and he's just going to let that Entomb resolve.
Right. Kyle chiming in that he thinks that Joe has the win here.
It seems pretty locked up right now. With Luis having 2 cards, he needs 2 cards to interact with the combo, and Joe has the Force of Will for at least the Swords to Plowshares.
We know there's 1 Force left in his hand, right?
Yes, at least 1. I think he has 2. And then Luis just... This Wasteland is actually kind of interesting. Yeah, he has 2 Force of Wills, but 1 blue card.
Okay.
One other blue card. If he goes for it here, assuming that Luis has not drawn perhaps another Swords to Plowshares or another Crows and Grip, and he hasn't, then he can win. But it is there is a little bit of risk along with this. I don't hate brainstorming first.
Yeah.
Perhaps, I mean, I'm not certain what he can find off of it, but seems somewhat prudent.
I think this is how you spell Carson Cotter, right? Or is it flip-flopped with the C and the K?
Yeah, you flipped it. And Joe going to go for it here. He cast Necromancy. Worldgorger, and then trigger on the stack. There's a Swords to Plowshares. Joe going to force. And Luis is going to scoop him up. His last card was Wasteland.
Yeah.
There you go. And Joe Ryder. Esper Worldgorger.
2-0-1.
All right.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah, I mean, the deck is real. I mean, it's as real as decks tend to be in Legacy, right?
Yeah. There's probably work to be done, presumably.
I agree. I think there's certainly some tuning that needs to be done.
No one's placed really highly with it at any of the 5K opens yet. But
yeah.
I mean, one was in Texas, and Texas is notorious for not playing a lot of Legacy.
Yep.
And so it's hard to really say.
We'll see how it goes. I mean, Legacy, as always, is a slow format to adapt.
And it's going to be even slower now.
Yeah.
With the new SCG structure.
Correct. There aren't these big Legacy opens as there used to be, which is a little unfortunate.
Like, the next one's not for a while.
No.
We've had 2 in the past, month or something?
Yeah.
2 months?
Very small.
Yeah.
Wow. So I saw that Luis brought in quite a few cards. I actually think his normal draws would seem to be pretty frustrating for Joe's.
Yeah, he has a lot of different ways to interact.
I can't believe I was right, but he has 2 relics in his deck. Relic seems like a particularly difficult card to beat.
Sure.
Just because it's not a spell.
And it's not a creature.
Yeah, it doesn't get Swords to Plowshares. You know, it just sits there in play, eating away at the graveyard every turn.
Yeah.
Did you win?
No.
Sorry, guys. Doomsday lost. We have kicked him out of the tournament.
I'm going to bring it back to the booth.
Yeah.
Losing to Lands.
Ooh. Oh, my God. It looks like we have a special guest in the room. It's
Senor Glacier.
It's Darvid Gleacher.
Herr Gleacher.
I came here to give Phil some cards.
Oh.
It's a gift for me.
I've had these cards for like a month.
Oh.
I figure I should give them back.
Phil, should we raffle them away?
Yep.
Raffle away most of that Abzan.
I have a raffle for an entire Abzan aggregate.
There's a foil back to nature in there.
Is it? Look at this.
The camera's over here.
Oops,
Whatever.
A foil
you
back
keep talking
to nature.
that monitor.
I'll talk to
I keep
any
doing-
monitor I can find.
Guys, look at all these cards.
It's a good life lesson.
They all tap for black, green, and white.
Cards.
Look at the cards.
Just look at the cards.
Earlier in the night, Stefan was just standing back there for like half an hour, being really creepy.
It was great.
That sounds
Yeah.
awful. That sounds pretty great.
You could take up his job.
Yeah, I'll take that spot.
We were telling everyone that he was the janitor.
Guys, we have a new janitor here.
Yeah.
He is only mildly creepy.
He's similarly creepy, actually.
Please do not address the janitor in the corner.
All right, I guess we should do the raffle because everyone's clamoring for it.
Oh my god.
All right, let's hype it one more time. So we are giving away a Japanese copy of the card Time Spiral. We don't have the physical copy. It is being given to the stream by our host for the night, MTG Card Market. These guys go to GPs all the time. They have lots of cards. They like to buy your cards as well.
Yeah, sell them your cards.
Yeah.
Look at the cards. Sell them. You don't need your cards.
You'll recognize Jamerson because he has a crazy colored mohawk, typically. You'll recognize everyone else in the booth because they'll be next to Jameson.
Yeah, you should know all of them
Yeah.
by name.
Yeah, I don't know their names either. So we'll get the raffle started. As everyone in the chat is already showing you, if you are new here, you have to type in, I'll put it in the chat so you guys will know, exactly what I just put in under the WUBRGxyz one. I'm about to open the raffle, Moobot. So I'll count down in chat. I'll count down in chat like Mark wants me to. So 3, 2, 1... And I'm going to go and open it right now.
Hey,
Cool.
it's up.
That should have done it, I think.
Get in there.
Yeah. So everyone can do
Look
that.
at the raffle.
Look. Oh, look at you guys going.
Yeah.
This is great.
You're doing a great job.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of nice things on this end.
Yeah, you can raffle.
Yeah, we can't really measure enthusiasm because you're all saying the same thing.
Yeah. We're raffling away,
frequency.
for anyone who missed it, we are raffling away this sleeve.
Yes, this Japanese time spiral sleeve.
Yeah.
This sleeve once held a Japanese time spiral.
Yes.
So please tune in. Get this
It
sleeve.
will, in the future as well, also hold a Japanese time spiral when it gets mailed to you. So we probably should clarify that.
And
Also,
worth
Mark
$14.
just entered his own raffle.
Thank you guys for the follows, by the way. Gordo Flash, Isoltron, and then the last name who I missed.
I should remind you, you have to be following the stream
Yes.
for your raffle to count.
So please.
So please also follow.
Yes.
There's a purple button somewhere below our faces which says follow.
Yeah. Click the follow button.
Then do the raffle.
Yes. So get in there, guys.
Yeah.
Get all up in there. And I think it's case sensitive.
Yeah, take off caps.
Yeah. So people doing like all caps raffle, lowercase, just exactly like everyone else.
Say it however you want.
Yeah.
You'll probably win.
Yes. Excellent advice from our janitor.
You're making a lot of promises I don't know we can keep, but that's
You
why
can
you're
win
the
an empty
janitor.
sleeve.
Ooh,
That's a good point.
I gotta say, yeah, one of you will win this time spiral, and
We'll hype the sleeve again.
yeah, oh man,
It also has a price sticker.
That sleeve turned 14.00 today.
oh my god, I'm just so proud of it. It's done so much for me.
Real
Yeah.
milestone.
All right, I'm gonna start closing this because.
Oh wait, I think we need to
What?
count down the closing.
Oh, count down.
You count up, right?
Counting down from
1, 2, 3.
1,000.
1,000.
999.
99.
998.
Wait, can you go back to it? Go back to 1,000. We gotta
Okay,
start again.
starting again. 1,000 people
All right.
entering a raffle.
3,
2, 1.
And closing the raffle.
Draw.
Our winner is
Second hand.
Second hand.
I'm gonna say second hand.
second.
Oh, I have to announce this winner in chat. No spoilers. All right, second hand. Congratulations, you won this empty sleeve that will be in the future filled with a time spiral in Japanese.
Yay! You did it! I'm so proud of you.
So we're gonna message you directly, and we can confirm where to send that. Mark will take care of that because we don't get paid enough to handle that kind of stuff.
I agree.
Yeah. And I'm gonna start writing that now.
All right.
I don't know why we're all so blurry.
It's the
Probably because I'm standing here.
It's
Yeah.
probably because
causing
you're
the
a
camera
goddamn
to
ghost.
I believe you're doing a lot of things, Mr. Janitor. That's all. Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
For those at home, the autocomplete of all caps. Congrats on winning. Anyway, all right. I'm not going to
I'm
describe
gonna
this any
guess Mark
further.
wrote those.
Assuredly.
I'm just gonna steal this.
What's your record?
I am 2-0-1.
2-0.
What?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
you drew with Joe?
Yes.
Yeah.
These draws.
It was not my fault. That's all I'm gonna say.
You want to say that to the camera?
By the way, whenever
It's not my fault.
someone walks in and they got a draw, and they say it's not their fault, they are wrong.
Yeah, it's probably
they
their
are
fault.
universally wrong.
Just for clarity's sake, he had 2 cards left in library, was at 2 life, and I had 3 power on board.
All right.
Okay.
Now, kids, let's go back to what's going on in this situation.
Yeah.
Let's point out all the things that Tony did. That's
Whatever.
his fault.
Yeah.
In case you're wondering, if your opponents don't concede when you have lethal on board, which they will do sometimes,
It's a bad situation.
you should have called the judge because they probably didn't play fast enough, or you didn't play fast enough. Play faster.
Yeah.
I'm very uncompromising when it comes to that
I
stuff.
play real slow. It's great.
Yeah, you're awful.
Yeah.
I in like a recent PTQ I went to, I Ash-Jacked my opponent to 0 cards. He was turn 5 of turns, and he was like, I think we should draw. And that was horrible. And that sort of stuff happens when you don't call judges for slow play.
Or when you play a control deck.
I don't think so. I gotta say, that seems wrong.
Oh, one key missing point.
Yes?
I was playing Worldgorger, and I had Rest in Peace down too.
No, I saw.
He had 1 card in library,
Maybe-
and 1 in hand.
But if you had played maybe a little faster.
yes, maybe.
I'm just saying.
Then
Possibility.
he could have had no cards left.
Yeah. And then you get the W.
Yeah, that would have been sweet.
I like this.
That would have been sweet.
Oh.
We have an unfortunate draw of the
Depends
pool.
on the team.
Yeah.
So am I missing anything there, or is
I don't
it all
think
good?
It's fine.
Super unfortunate.
I don't think 3 of these are mine.
No?
I think only two of them are mine because I have two at home right now.
This is
Check my
thrilling.
list out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dill Bilberman. That is my Christian name.
I
yeah.
didn't know that was you.
No Funberman is actually it's my middle name.
No,
Ah.
Funberman. Are you sure? I have 3 Black White Temple written down here.
Oh,
I got one back in you.
Glacier, do
Oh,
you
did
have
you?
the video
In that case,
with
give me
Phil
one
in
of
it?
those.
Do you know the link?
Actually, can I use that sleeve? Or is that going to be used?
We're giving this away.
Alright, I'll find it.
Yeah. Fuck off.
Hey, I won the raffle, fair and square.
Are you
Second-hand?
second?
Yeah.
No.
Oh my God, guys,
He's
we
not.
have second. Oh,
He's not.
He's not.
He's the janitor.
Oh my God.
He's Mr. Janitor.
I'm the ghost of second.
This is horrible.
Second.
I was reincarnated.
I woke up one day and I re-anointed myself.
Yeah, you took out the letters in your
That's what happens
family
when
name.
you're a ghost.
Ghosts,
You lose some letters.
they live a weird life.
Mr. Hand or Mr.
Is this one? I don't remember having a 10th edition one.
I think it's supposed to be an M15.
Klexel, have a good night. Thanks for hanging out for
I
so
don't care.
long.
I was like, is it, like, did you have?
I don't-
And remember,
that's the one
everyone,
that I
so
have.
this was just the end of round 3 that we just had on
Switch
camera,
over,
and
so-
we will, don't worry, secondhand, I have your sleeve right here.
Give me that sleeve.
No, you
I
haven't
won't
earned
do
it. This guy always going for our sleeves.
Yeah. Go back to the
Sleeves are the best
vortex.
part.
I have deck boxes if you want them. Yeah. So you can keep our temple sense.
Oh, Klexel wants the janitor's coat, so
Oh, really?
I think that is up for raffle later.
It does have a Simic pin.
It does, so it's magic related.
We will be raffling that off at 3 in the morning.
Are you Simic? I never thought of you as Simic.
That's what they had. I wanted Demir, obviously. But
Yeah, that seems a little more in line
Demir.
it's a third of the
Let's not back. All right.
of the bug.
the Sultai groove.
A third, or is that 2/3?
See that Sultai won the GP? Mr.
I
Jack
think it's a
Vogel?
third.
You see that Jack
I
Vogel
guess.
won the GP?
Yeah.
Sultai?
Are you friends with Jack Fogel?
I don't know Jack Fogel, but
Okay.
I'm glad he won.
Oh, Sultai, right. You're friends with Jack Fogel.
I am, yes. He's my friend. He's not your friend.
I knew a Jack Fogel in high school.
Same guy.
They don't look at all like.
God, it's an extensive surgery.
It's a very rare name
Yeah.
and a pretty common surgery, so
I've-
it's probably the same person.
I've only ever met one person named Jack.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about-
I know.
How about John?
John? I don't know anyone named John.
Ah, yeah, that's a very rare name.
Yes. All right, I'm going to go look out. It looks like that we're about done in the round. And see what we got for next round.
Sure. Yeah, I'll talk to the smelly janitor for a bit.
I'm sorry.
Goodbye. You might have to go home. Back to the
Ghost
slut.
janitor doesn't always sit on chairs, but he is right now.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Whoa.
So, are you playing any magic?
Spooky.
Are you playing any magic tournaments coming up?
No,
Okay.
ghosts can't play in magic tournaments.
That's a good point. How
Or
was your
janitors.
How did your pro tour go? I don't think I've actually seen you for a little bit.
It was okay, but also very disappointing.
Right.
I finished 89th. So
So
made
close, but no cigar.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Does
kinda
top
close.
50?
It's
like a
based
different
on
pro point
it's based
cutoff, I
on
guess, right?
record. X and 5 now you would
Ah.
qualify for the next pro tour.
So did
And
you
I
go
was-
X6?
I went X5 and I went X6 and 1 actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the top of
So I
the
wasn't
X.
quite close, but I was kind of close.
Okay.
I don't know.
Would you still? You played Tron, right?
I played Tron. That went pretty well, but
Yeah.
the second draft did not go well.
What happened?
I just I don't know. I got caught. It was a very weird draft, and the signals were not super clear.
Okay.
Also, Fate Reforged makes things weird because there's no good cards in it.
There's good rares.
There's good rares, and then
Some good
and then
uncommons.
that's it, pretty much. Yeah,
Okay.
some good uncommons, but
So you didn't get the signals.
I didn't get a clear rare signal, and I didn't really get a lot of good cards, and then I kind of waffled a bit for too long. Wasn't sure what I could be in, and then I ended up in a pretty mediocre Sultai deck.
Sounds like a great recipe. You are Simic after
I
all.
couldn't just open Outpost Siege again, or not Outpost Siege,
Citadel Siege.
Citadel Siege
The white
like I
one?
did in the first draft and make things
Uh-huh.
easy.
Nicely
That
done.
would have been nice.
What was
but
your record in the first draft?
2-1?
Okay, solid.
Yeah, I think I probably punted a match. So yeah, that was sweet.
Oh shucks.
And then Tron was awesome.
What was your record with Tron?
I went 7-3. One of those was a concession
Sure.
after I was out of contention for.
Oh, you conceded someone else?
Yeah, I conceded because I couldn't qualify.
Right.
So
And you got paired up.
I got paired up. Yeah.
I see.
And
So
the
you
deck was
actually went
good.
7-2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Things may have. I
It
would
could have been
played.
8-2.
I would have played someone else the next round, but
Right.
whatever. Yeah. Who knows?
Pretty good. So you think Tron is more real than people would have us believe?
I mean, it's definitely more real than people want to believe. I don't know if it was actually a great call for that tournament because there was a lot of burn and infect.
Yeah.
But it was very good against the Jund and Junk decks, and it's very good against other, like a lot of random stuff. It's good against, like I got paired against a black or red-white tokens deck, and just that was a very good matchup.
Yeah. Would you agree? Retro calls out this article that Owen Turnwald wrote this past week.
Worst formats of all time.
He listed like top 5 best and top 5 worst.
I don't love Modern. I don't know if it's really one of the top 5 worst formats.
Yeah.
I mean, there have been some really bad formats.
It's mostly standard and
Mostly standard
block.
formats and block formats. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you want to just go with the big, I don't know, recognizable formats, then maybe.
You're right.
I definitely don't like it as much as I liked Extended, which no one else liked. So
Yeah.
apparently I'm alone in that. But
Yeah, everyone hated that, right?
I liked Extended. I don't know.
I'm going to use Bet. But
All
we're
right.
going to see your second favorite deck in Legacy.
Elves?
Death and Taxes.
What is my
Oh,
first?
Merfolk.
Lands.
Oh, lands, right. My
Trolls.
least favorite, yeah. Alright,
well,
sweet. Oh, is this Jameson playing Death and Taxes?
Yep, playing against one of its best matchups.
Sneak and Show?
Correct.
Yeah.
So you set that.
Justice. I'm going to bring it down to the table. Jameson was asking me for some deck advice before this tournament. He got a list from the recent SCG, I think. I disagreed with some of the choices. Obviously, Jameson's never played the deck before, so he's just using it as a starting point and going to evolve from there. But
What is it?
he's playing Death and Taxes. He's
playing?
He has
Oh,
4
okay.
Sarah Avenger in the deck, which I disagree with. He also doesn't have Mangara, and I think Mangara actually is quite good now. It was bad
I always
when
liked it.
Cruz was around, but that makes sense. The format just was too fast at that point. So we have Kyle Houtman on the right. He's playing Sneak and Show, and we're gonna have Jameson Reeves on the left, and he's going to apparently be on Death and Taxes, which is awesome.
Would you like your seat back?
Yes.
Good, because I never sat in it because I'm a ghost.
All right,
And I can't even do that.
-1 Janitor, +1 Filberman.
I'm back.
I'm gonna let out.
All right, bye Glacier.
Take care.
Good luck at Magic tournaments.
Thanks. I'm not playing any, but thanks.
Never.
Actually, I think I'm gonna play that free TQ on Sunday.
Yeah, I'll probably play that. Maybe.
You have to have a way to get there.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
If you have a ride, tell me. All right, Jameson Reeves. Can tell from his Cavaliers sweatshirt and very unique tattoos.
Correct.
Death. Do you like it with the ampersand or spelling out?
I prefer the ampersand.
I don't know which I like better. I like both. I really like everything about it.
I'm certain that it is irrelevant.
Yes.
But
when did that ever stop us from talking about something?
good point. So I know traditionally this is a matchup that's pretty favorable for Death and Taxes.
It's not that overwhelming.
Okay, you don't think it is?
It's good. It's one of the better matchups.
Both 2 and 1.
2 and 1, great.
I mean, I know percentages are generally, they're loose, but would you say it's like a 60-40 type thing, or
No,
a little better than that?
It's probably like 70-30.
70-30. Okay, so you'd say you win a pretty high percentage of the time.
I have lost to Sneak and Show once.
Okay.
I've played it probably 10 times.
Okay.
But I think that's partially just me getting lucky.
I mean, luck's going to factor into it no matter what.
That's also like game win percentage is probably like 70%. So that means that your match win percentage is going to be higher than that.
Sure, yeah. Well, Kyle immediately mulliganing his no-lander, and I definitely saw a pretty important card in Jameson's opener.
Oh yeah, Caracas?
I believe so.
Sick.
You made sure to be nice to us and use the Judge promo Caracas's, so
Sure.
to recognize them right away.
I saw some...
Emily Dickinson poetry on the show.
That's a good
I
point.
agree. It sucks. Yeah, the original Caracas with just fantastic flavor text.
So the issue with this matchup, you have a lot of trumps from the Death and Taxes side, like Caracas. Phyrexian Revoker's insane. Thalia's excellent. Mother of Runes protecting all of your dudes is very relevant, especially post-board. However, you're also playing 4 Swords to Plowshares, a bunch of Stoneforge Mystics that don't really do anything.
Yep.
Jameson's playing a pile of Serra Avengers that don't really do anything. So you can just draw the wrong half of your deck and die very quickly.
That sort of seems how the game ones will go poorly for Death and Taxes, where things go sour.
It's very swingy.
Yeah.
I think it's actually very important, though, for Death and Taxes to win game 1 because Sneak and Show boards a lot more than you do. Like, they're gaining a lot more games 2 and 3 because they're bringing in a bunch of, like, Pyroclasms, Pithing Needles for your Caracas, and any number of other haymakers.
Yeah, I generally see the Sneak and Show decks board Blood Moons as well. Just as a blanket answer to Caracas. Ooh,
Right.
Kyle quickly mulliganing again. I saw. I think his only land was. I think he only had non-blue mana on that hand. I saw a basic mountain. Interesting that Kyle includes basic mountain in his deck, which is not traditional.
Okay.
At least the times I played Sneak and Show before, it's just 3 basic islands and then a pile of volcanics and then a bunch of soul lands between City of Traders and Ancient Tomb.
Right.
Basic mountain is very interesting in this matchup in particular, being a red source that doesn't get wastelanded.
Sure.
Which is it's a way I've lost with the deck. I played this deck. I played Sneak and Show in one tournament, and decided I would never play it again. I really, really disliked it.
It takes a certain kind of person to be able to stomach some of the swings.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: a lot of people love the deck.
Yeah.
And it's a deck. It is the best, in my opinion, the best jam deck.
It's the most powerful deck.
Yeah, it's
in a vacuum.
I think so. It's got to be like that, or maybe
Storm.
I think Storm is probably the other one.
It's close.
Yeah. And it's a very reasonably consistent deck. You have 8 pieces of each of your combo.
Yeah. And a lot of ways to find both.
Yeah. And Force of Will, Spell Pierce, a lot of protection.
Yeah.
The way you tend to lose the deck is you just draw too many of half the combo, or you just dirtle for too long looking for the combo, and that gets awkward. Especially because as we talked about before, similar to the Reanimator problem, you don't have many answers for permanence.
Right.
You're more of a spell-based reactive deck. Looks like Kyle's keeping
leading with Caracas.
Yeah, jamming the turn 1 Vial.
I wonder if he has one. No, he has a Plains. I think I might have led Plains there just because. Just to sandbag,
Yeah, I don't hate it. Sandbagging it, I should say. But I think in the long run it doesn't matter too much.
Yeah, it's probably fine.
Yeah. Plus, bonus, you put it into play early, you don't forget about it.
That's true. One detractor is if they happen to have the really fast show and tell draw, you get to put it into play for free off of it.
Yeah, that is nice.
It can be. Also, if they probe you, like that just happened, you get to reveal it to them and just to rub it in their face.
Hey, look what I got.
Yeah.
All right, Kyle fetching here. I wonder if Kyle's going to get a Volk here, knowing that Jameson has no Wasteland in his hand.
He probably has to on 5 cards. Like,
yeah, I don't know how much you can really play around Wasteland on 5 cards.
He did just paw past it, though, so yeah, getting him basic island. Judging from Jameson's hand, though, it's not great. He has 2 basic planes, so no, like, Rishon Port or Wasteland.
Nope.
And a Stoneforge Mystic as a clock, which he's likely not going to deploy on turn 2.
Nope, probably not.
I think he has a Mother of Runes as well, right?
Yes, Mother of Runes and Swords to Plowshares.
Okay.
So a very slow hand, but I think one that is very reasonable to keep because he knows what he's playing against.
Yeah, I mean, also pretty much any hand with Death and Taxes that has a mix of like
a Vial,
2 to 3
creatures.
spells along with Vial, you're gonna keep.
Yeah, like he can cast all of his spells. Like this is a very good hand.
Yeah.
Kyle shuffling off the Ponder, not finding what he's looking for there. I assume what he's looking for is a second land.
Probably.
The key, I think, for Kyle to beat this Caracas, and the only real way he could beat this Caracas main deck is with Sneak Attack.
Mm-hmm.
If he's able to activate Sneak Attack multiple times,
right.
He can fight through it. It's real tough to do that through a combination of the combination of Wasteland, Port, Thalia, Phyrexian Revoker. Like, if Phyrexian Revoker gets into play, naming Sneak Attack, it's effectively lights out for Kyle.
Which printing of
The Judge promo.
which is that? Is it not even on here?
It might not be. I don't think it is.
Huh. I'm trying to pull up the art on Jameson's Swords to Plowshares, but
It's the Swords to Golf Clubs version.
yeah, it might not be on Gatherer, sadly.
Ooh, Kyle. Oh, okay. This is a little risky jamming those pedals, but it might be a bait. Kyle playing his mountain and playing both the pedals. I know he's playing the pedals in case
to bait Revoker.
I think that's a small bonus. I think the main reason he's playing it is to play around Thalia.
Right. So what's the risk of playing?
The risk is getting them Revoker.
Sure.
It's effectively getting double Stone Rain there, and
Right.
that could end up being kind of awkward.
The thing is, to play through Caracas, typically the card you want is Sneak Attack. So I think any Revoker Jameson draws, he's going to want to put on Sneak Attack anyway.
Yeah, that's certainly possible. Looks like Jameson has drawn another Mother of Runes and a Plains since we saw his hand on turn 1. Kyle, all basics, which is pretty good against Wasteland, but Jameson's not really drawing Wastelands now. He's going to end a turn violin this Stoneforge. I believe that's a foil Japanese Stoneforge Mystic. Jameson, for anyone wondering, is the owner, right?
Yep.
Owner of MTG Card Market.
He has very nice cards.
Yes, he does. You'll see quite a few foils on that side. I think
he has the foil Urza's Legacy Mother of Runes, which I kind of want to get, but they're like $40.
Yeah, they're real expensive. They're real pretty.
They're real nice.
I have one.
Jeez.
But it looks like so he has end of turn Vials that Stoneforge for a Batterskull, and it looks like one of the cards he's drawn. Very good card in this situation is Mirror Crusader, which is perfect. Just giving him a huge clock. If he has actually never mind. I was gonna say if he has a land, he might be tempted to just suit it up with the Batterskull, but that's just, I think, excessively greedy in the face. It would involve tapping his Caracas.
Right. So he got Batterskull off of
Stoneforge.
I think I actually would have gotten Sword of Fire and Ice. It's not that different.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, because Sword of Fire and Ice on Mirror Crusader is
a lot of damage.
It's a thing.
All right, he's just gonna effectively vial in this Batterskull here using the Stoneforge.
Yep.
I believe this is during his.
Yeah, he did it on his own turn. Maybe fearing Vendilion Click or something.
I guess so.
I mean, he was gonna do it at some point anyway. It doesn't make a huge difference to do it on his own turn.
Kyle on this Moldavide is actually extremely flooded.
Yeah, activating end of turn, putting in a foil Japanese buy a box promo Mirror Crusader.
Oh, very pretty.
Yeah. Also, his Stoneforges are foil Japanese.
Yeah, they're really nice.
So those are hard to come by.
You'll notice everything on the left side of the table is foil, and one thing on the right side is foil.
Yeah, basically.
That
pretty
Ponder.
much.
I gotta say, there's a little bit more money on one side. This looks to be like an attack for 9.
Yeah, so this is a 2-turn clock.
Yeah, and this is perfect. I mean, it's just about impossible for Kyle to come back from something like this.
Yeah. I mean, Jameson doesn't have a ton of interaction. He just has the Caracas, which is beatable.
Especially because he has 3 red mana currently.
Right. If he has Sneak Attack, things could go poorly.
I believe he's about to show and tell and put in sneak attack. He's certainly going to play show and tell here. There we go.
Right.
And let's see what he decides to put into play. I think Jameson has Swords to Plowshares
And planes.
He's just going to put in the planes.
Yeah.
Yeah, making sure that he can. We got a nice view of his mohawk.
Yep.
Very blue. And he puts in the planes versus Grizzlebrand. That's the nice GP promo.
Right.
And Jameson thought about Caracasing it. I don't think he should do that right now.
You wait, right?
I think I would
For him
wait.
to activate.
Yeah, I think I would wait in case he draws sneak attack. Here's the thing. There's not...
He couldn't really pay life there, though. Oh. If he's at 8.
I don't
What
think...
just happened there?
I think they're trying to figure out what's going on here. I'm pretty sure Kyle's going to draw 7 cards.
Yeah.
I mean, like the...
Yeah, he's drawing.
Yeah, the Grizzlebrand can't even block the Mirror Crusader.
Yeah.
Which is not lethal on its own.
Right.
Oh yeah, Jameson, I think, correctly not bouncing this Grizzlebrand right
Yeah.
now. Kyle has to find an answer in the top 7 cards. Look like there's a bunch of lands
Yeah,
in the
it's just a
Grizzlebrand.
concession.
Yeah.
Not even any need.
Yeah, if he had decided to bounce it there, I think there's a combination of cards that would be very bad for him.
Okay.
Like, it's a very specific combination involving, like
sneak attack, more Lotus Petals.
put in like another Grizzlebrand and an Emrakul.
Yeah.
But I mean, Emrakul, actually, it needs to be both of those, and even then, he needs to have a Force of Will for the
Swords to
which he
Plowshares.
can't cast because he's at 1 life.
Yeah, well, I mean,
yeah, it's
best operations.
Yeah.
Here is a weapon, though, that I know Kyle Howman's bringing in.
Oh yeah, Kyle certainly has several copies of this card.
Yeah.
This is a beating. This card is real good.
This is one of the reasons why it's really important to leave in Mother of Runes. Some things that I saw in Jameson's list, actually, that are a little different than stock. He's playing 2 Pithing Needles. Typically, players only play 1, and it's very good here because you just shut off Sneak Attack, which is... Sneak and Show is a more reliable way to actually kill you.
I mean, Phyrexian Revoker is already one of your better cards, and having
effectively
another Phyrexian Revoker that can't get Pyroclasmed away.
Yeah, it's super important. I think Kyle Hellman actually also brings in what's it called? Through the Breach, just because Show and Tell is such a liability.
Yeah, in general, I think Sneak and Show tends to move towards that in any matchup where Show and Tell is a little awkward.
Also, in Jameson's sideboard, I think he can... It's justifiable to bring in a Council's Judgment, because sometimes you can shut off... Like, you can keep them from going off with the sneak attack for a turn with Mana Disruption, and then the turn passes back to you and you just blow it up.
Yeah.
Cards he can take out, Swords to Plowshares can go...
Awful.
Sarah Avenger's not very good. Its one redeeming quality is that it's a creature that doesn't get Pyroclasmed.
Yeah, I agree.
So, Mirror Crusader probably goes first.
Yeah, they're both... I'd say they're both equally unexciting. I would probably lean towards Sarah Avenger because of the Pyroclasm point.
Yeah, it's close.
I mean, the clock is analogous. It's 1 point different. So I think I'd lean towards...
Usually, clock isn't the most important in this matchup. Like, you usually wind up killing them with, like, whatever random things you happen to have.
Yeah, just stuff. Yeah,
it's really the disruption that matters more, typically.
And just not overextending into Pyroclasm.
Yeah, unless you have Mom.
So, someone mentioned, I think it was Isoltron mentioned, if D&D brings in the All Get Pro Red Enchantment is Absolute Law. Absolute Law has sort of fallen out of favor, I think.
I used to board this card, but... I think it's not necessary anymore with Blue-Red Delver receding from the format.
Yeah, I mean, this was a beating against Blue-Red Delver.
Yeah, they don't really have a way to remove an enchantment, and that means that they're not going to have any ways to remove your creatures, which basically all outclass their creatures.
Yeah, and their deck's just like a pile of bolts.
Yeah.
A pile of bolts and like Young Pyromancers and Monastery Swiftspears, and if your whole team's pro-red, it's real hard for them to break through with anything but Delver of Secrets.
Right.
And you're well prepared to beat the card Delver of Secrets.
Yeah, Flicker Wisp's a boss.
Oh yeah, Flicker Wisp. I mean, even Sarah Avenger's just pretty good against that.
It's fine. It gets the job done.
Good enough.
Yeah.
All right, so Kyle going to be on the play. I like these post-board games a lot. There's a lot of maneuvering.
There is. A lot can go wrong from the D&T side.
For sure.
And the onus is on Death and Taxes now to really come up with a good defense.
Yeah, like it's sort of flip flops in the sense that, like game 1, Death and Taxes is the deck with all the hate.
Yes.
You know, they have all the really annoying disruptive cards, but I think it kind of shifts a bit post board. Like, you still have the disruptive cards from Death and Taxes, but you have very, very good answers for them.
Sneak and Show now has all the answers.
In general, what I see...
so it looks like Jameson has kept in Swords to Plowshares.
Interesting.
I think that might be a function of him not having played the matchup before.
Yeah, experience plays a big part in sideboarding and Legacy.
Yeah.
I think.
Just because it's just not going to go... Like, the idea of swordsing a Grizzlebrand sounds good, but not if it's coming off of a sneak attack and they can just draw 7 and find another one.
I agree. In general, the Swords of Flashers are going to be very low impact. You know, they still get to... I mean, if you're doing it off a sneak attack, they still get to gain the life.
Right.
Like, it's...
You really have to cut them off before the creature is in play.
Yeah, very much so. And the deck is built to do that. I'm not sure how many he left in. I assume he boarded at least a couple out.
Isoltron's asking if D&T players are still using Containment Priest.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm at 2 copies. I went down to 1 for a while. It's so good. Like, it's so good against elves, sneak attack, and also Reanimator and Dredge. Like, it's super good.
It's effectively the perfect sideboard card.
Yeah.
Like, it's very powerful, and it comes in several matchups. Like, it's exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Like, you know, oftentimes people are left to sideboarding in really narrow, specific, powerful cards, and this is, like, not that.
Yeah.
It's just really good.
It's really good hate that comes in against a lot of things. So.
Looks like Jameson kept. He does have Caracas in this hand as well.
And Thalia. And Cavern to name human for...
Get that Thalia through.
I hope he knows that Mother of Runes is a human. He doesn't have it in hand, but on the original printing, Mother of Runes, I think it's just a cleric.
It's a summon creature.
Summon creature,
I'm almost positive.
The time before creature types.
Oh yeah, good times.
Let's see.
Human cleric recently.
Summon cleric.
Summon cleric, alright, not a summon,
So they had creature types.
Alright. Oh yeah, it's summon.
Yeah.
They had creature types for a while at this point.
They just didn't make everything a human or everything, whatever they turned Ravager into.
So the super types. Construct, I assume?
Yeah, I think Construct.
Alright, so Kyle's going to fetch a basic island here. We're going to see Kyle fetch a lot of basic lands in this matchup.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Seems like the thing to do.
Ooh, he's got a Ancient Tomb and a Lotus Petal and another Lotus Petal.
Could be a fast kill.
Oh boy, taking 2 here off this Ancient Tomb. Does he have the Show and Tell? Alright. He does have the Show and Tell. And Jameson putting in the Thalia. This is a little loose, I think.
Yeah, he didn't play around it being sneak attack.
Yeah. And
although there were 2 Lotus Petals, so Caracas wasn't going to save him.
True. Well, yeah, it's not against Emrakul.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not much.
It saves you against Grizzlebrand, kind of. Although they're just going to draw a bunch of cards and find an Emrakul.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
I mean, for what it's worth, this isn't the worst if Kyle doesn't have a follow-up creature.
It's true.
So Jameson's going to go to 5 here. He's losing, his creature and his Cavern of Souls. But he does still have that Caracas in hand. Just drew Enlightened Tutor. Unfortunately, does have a Swords to Plowshares. As we talked about earlier, just not a great card in this matchup.
If Kyle doesn't have another red source, the Caracas could be really good.
Very much so, yeah. I didn't even notice that. Kyle on, I believe, 1 card right now. I mean, he has to find both another red source and a creature. I mean, Grizzlebrand would be the perfect draw here.
They're saying in the chat that the second petal needs to die. I don't think so because the sneak attack was show and telled in.
It was show and telled in, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and there it is. There's the Grizzlebrand.
Yeah. So
I believe Kyle went to combat here.
Yeah.
No. He's just going to draw 7.
Yeah, I think you want to draw 7 before combat because if you find a red source and an Emrakul, the game just ends.
Yep. Just on the spot. And looks like he found Scalding Tarn.
Red source.
Fetch. This is probably the end of the game here. I mean, these explosive draws are also always going to be strong, especially on the play.
Yeah, there weren't many sequences out of Jameson that could have stopped this.
No, I don't think so.
He had 1 turn, right?
Yeah, I mean, even so, the one thing there are no choices he could have made. There are cards he could have had that would have worked out well. Basically, if he had Phyrexian Revoker.
Yes.
That would have been, like, if he was able to show...
Also, if he had Containment Priest.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He goes Show and Tell and just slams that card into play. That's just
It's very risky, but you know.
off of Show and Tell. I don't think it is.
Oh, I guess you're right actually, because
I mean,
worst case scenario, they put in Emrakul and then it turn passes back to you and you just Caracas it.
yeah, I actually think putting in Containment Priest is probably the second best card you could put in there in this situation besides Phyrexian Revoker.
Okay, sure, and just name Grizzlebrand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in that scenario,
Oh, you
sneak attack.
Yeah.
That's how it works, right? When they come in, you see them,
Yeah.
they see each other come into play.
They do, yeah.
So you get to just name whatever they put into play.
It's pretty good.
Ugh.
It's pretty good.
Everything just works out for the white weenie players. All right, we are going to game 3
Justice.
here.
I think most of the Danish players prefer to call it mono white control.
Yeah, I think that's honestly a much better name, but
It's okay. I like legacy deck names that aren't just the color of the deck.
that's fair.
I like some personality. I don't know.
There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, like it's confusing for newer players. I agree. I concede, I should say, but Legacy's an old format.
Yeah.
You have to and there's a lot of history built into
Embrace
Legacy.
it.
Yeah, there's no reason to just
That looks like a
erase it.
mulligan out of Jameson. No white source, no Caracas.
Yeah. Interesting to note that Jameson did not re-sideboard.
Yeah, I really think it's just a function of not having played the deck before.
Oh, assuredly.
Yeah. It's not the most intuitive deck to play or sideboard, really. But that's also, I guess, true of just like Legacy in general.
Mm-hmm. Looks like they're both mulliganing though. Fair is fair. We're all going now.
Right.
Ooh. Cephalid Breakfast. That is a good name. I have no idea why it's called that.
Well, I know why Cephalid's in the name.
But I think that's pretty clear.
Yeah. The breakfast part of it is...
No idea.
I think it's related to a previous deck. There was a deck called Second Breakfast. That was like an even older deck, I believe.
I don't even
or
know.
maybe Second Breakfast came after Cephalid Breakfast. I don't know.
Meat Hooks is a strong one. I love all these Legacy deck names. History that we don't know. we don't know.
Some
where
people
they came
know. There's also like Nick Fit, which is a weird one.
Well, I know that one.
Yeah.
It was like he decided it was a good metagame call, so he wanted to call it Nice Fit, and he just misspelled it on the deck list.
Perfect.
Just forgot the E.
Perfect.
I don't know if that's an urban legend or not, but it sounds good enough.
Probably is.
All right, so both players going to 6 here.
Yeah.
Jameson looking for what?
I will say Phyrexian Revoker.
Ooh, does have Caracas.
Okay.
That Swords of Pasha just keeps showing up.
Yeah. I'll tell him later.
Yeah. All right, so we got a Caracas on turn 1. Kyle drawing basic mountain. I know he has Volcanic in his hand. I think he wants to just play the mountain and not get wastelanded here.
Not sure what they're talking about right there. Maybe correct number of cards.
I think they're just chatting about them both mulliganing and having great hands.
Okay. People who are friendly giving shit to each other.
Keep it up.
Yeah.
Why not?
Pithing Needle, presumably naming Caracas.
An excellent start to the game for Kyle.
Yep.
This is going to make things quite a bit easier for him. I've seen a combination of Pithing Needles and Blood Moons out of like Sneak and Show deck in order to fight Caracas because it's just so frustrating. I know Reanimator decks have at times played upwards of 3 copies of that card in their sideboard. I mean, as weak as Sneak and Show is to the card Caracas, Reanimator is quite a bit weaker.
Yep.
I find. Maybe that's wrong, but that seems to be how it is from the deck building at least.
Right.
And Kyle paying the unfortunate 1 mana Lotus Petal there in the face of this Thalia.
So if he doesn't have a ton of pressure and Jameson is able to string together some meaningful threats here, he might get something going.
I think so. I mean, Kyle definitely wanted to slow roll. It's right at the front of his hand. Yeah, so he's not going to play it for just that. But I think I would be very surprised not to see him fire it off next turn.
Yeah, next turn it's going to come out.
He'll probably fetch a basic island with this Misty Rainforest.
Yep.
It's pretty important that he finds a 3rd land here, though.
It is, because he doesn't want to lose the Lotus Petal to cast the Pyroclasm.
Yeah, certainly not if it means he has a bunch of 3 and 4 drops in his deck that he needs to get to.
Yeah. Looks like he's fetching end of turn.
I think it's upkeep, but...
Oh, sure.
Either way. Just going to find, basic island. Kyle,
Maybe he has the land in hand?
it's possible. He definitely has a volcanic, at least.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Alright, so he doesn't have to blow the Lotus Petal.
That's helpful. The mana is a huge deal in this matchup.
Yep. Yeah, and Jameson hasn't drawn Port, which is really unfortunate because it's one of your best cards, I think.
And yep,
And Pyroclasm coming down.
3 guys.
Jameson is going to be left, I think, threatless.
Just with the Batter Skull, a Wasteland, Sword Splashers.
Another Caracas.
Ooh, that's rough.
Basically a bunch of blanks.
I mean, he could draw...
Enlightened Tutor.
Not a horrible draw.
He can go get Phyrexian Revoker.
I like that.
It's okay.
Yeah, Wastelanding immediately, I think, is correct.
So he's probably going to end of turn just play the E-Tutor.
I'm definitely not sure what he's going to get here. I think Revoker is the safest card.
Yeah, I don't... He can also get Needle, actually. Just to have a less easy to kill version. But he also needs a clock.
Yeah, I don't love Needle for that exact reason. I mean, Kyle just has infinite mana right now. He plays Ancient Tomb and second Lotus Petal, and I believe he has 1 card left. Not a lot of action.
The blue team, sorry, just correcting Kyle's life total. I think he's only tapped the Ancient Tomb.
He has not tapped it yet. He's about to tap it for the first time.
So yeah, he's not actually at 17. He's at 19.
I think he's tapping it.
Tapping it right now. Sorry. Come on, guys, you're killing me.
And he's cracking a Petal. Ooh, that is an excellent draw. Dig Through Time.
Yes.
Kyle is actually one of the first guys I saw playing this. Like, he's the only guy I know who's kept playing this card. A lot of decks I've seen have cut Dig Through Time through Sneak and Show, and it just
makes no sense.
It just seems very,
so good.
Very good.
Yeah.
Oh, he got hit by Thalia. Yeah, now he's at 15. Yeah, they're right. Chat is right. Thank you, chat. Thank you, chat. Appreciate it.
Sorry.
The old Guardian of Thraben.
My bad.
Under the radar.
I can't believe I missed a Thalia hit.
I'm embarrassed for both of us, but mostly for you.
I was very concerned about both of the white creatures dying.
Yeah, I know.
So I think I was a little distracted.
For viewers not being able to see what's going on here, Greg has a single tear running down his cheek right now.
For my number 1 boo.
So unfortunate.
Yeah.
Right. Kyle grabbing 2 cards off the dig. Didn't quite get a good look at them. I think he has at least a Show and Tell in his hand.
Okay.
I'm not sure what else. And then he's letting this... this was all in response to the Enlightened Tutor, and now Jameson figuring out what to get. Phyrexian Revoker going to the front of the deck, though.
Yeah, I don't think... Like, old versions of the deck could get Oblivion Ring to try to blow out a resolved Show and Tell, but...
I didn't hate that.
With the deck probably boarding out a lot of the Show and Tells, I think Revoker is the most important.
Yeah.
I actually don't really like boarding in Enlightened Tutor in this matchup for this reason. Like, if the best thing you're getting is Revoker, I think it's just not worth the -1 card.
Yeah, in general, I think Enlightened Tutor is a card you want to sideboard in when you have like extremely powerful bullets.
Yes.
And this is a matchup where basically the way your deck is constructed, you know, most of your cards are good.
Yeah, a lot of them are good. You just need enough of them.
Yeah, it's not like let's say Storm.
So he has 2 Caracas in play.
Yep.
I think
okay.
Kyle's
All right,
running right here.
Jameson running the Nevermind.
It's his store, so he can take it back.
All right, there we go. Correctly doing this.
Ramping.
Floating a mana, playing his Lotus Petal Caracas.
Yeah.
And there's a Revoker. Not sure what he named, but I assume it's Sneak Attack.
Oh, apparently we both got DQ'd because we had the life totals wrong.
Ah,
sorry.
Geez, every time.
Yeah.
And he's going to take another 2 here, going to 13.
Yep.
Let's see what I think he's just going to jam a Show and Tell.
Seems like the thing to do.
Yep. And Jameson is putting in that Batter Skull versus Emrakul. All right, who wins in the fight? And Jameson taking a read. Get to see.
Cannot Swords the Plowshares that.
I think this is. I don't think Jameson doesn't play a ton of Magic, right? He's mostly just running the store.
He hasn't really played Legacy.
Yeah,
he plays a lot of Modern.
He doesn't play a ton of Legacy. Oof.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah. Important part about Emrakul, cannot be the target of colored spells.
It's a very funny hand. I think Jameson is staring at 2 copies of Swords to Plowshares. He can only target his own creatures currently, though.
Oof. A rough spot to be in.
Yeah.
It's not really a good place. And he has exactly 6 permanents, which are going to get sacked to this Emrakul.
Right. Tough beats.
And there we go.
Yeah,
and he's going to
that's
back
a
it
concession.
In. With the needle in play, there's just nothing he can do with the resolve Emrakul.
Right.
And here we have what I think is a pretty poor matchup going in favor of Sneak and Show.
Yeah, I think this is one of the times where you see what is a bad matchup in Legacy that can get turned into a win for the unfavored deck just by matchup familiarity.
Yeah.
Like, I've played Kyle a lot in this matchup, and he has a plan. You know?
For sure. Kyle's very experienced with this deck in particular.
He's showing us right here what he's boarded in.
Okay, so he didn't board in Blood Moon, which I think is reasonable.
Yeah. He's talked with me about it. I don't think it's worth it.
You don't think it is? Okay, I've seen it both ways.
Yeah.
I know people who are very fond of boarding in Blood Moon in general.
Okay.
I know Dylan Jones, who's top 8 at a couple Legacy Opens with Sneak and Show. He Blood Mooned me when I was playing Storm. I did not see that, and I still didn't see it coming. He said he just tends to board it in when people don't even play around it. Just get your Blood Moon, you know.
It's better on the play.
When you can just play it on turn 2 with Ancient
1.
Yeah, or ugh.
Yeah.
And for anyone at home wondering how we feel about Blood Moon, I hate Blood Moon.
I'm okay with it.
In Legacy, it's like, you know, there are a lot of unfair things going on in Legacy.
Yeah, that's like fair game in Legacy.
I wish that card. Thank you for following Pyra. I guess. Yeah.
Thank you, Pyra.
Thank you. But I hate a card like in Modern in particular. It's just a sledgehammer.
It's a little. I don't know if sideboard.
It's egregious.
I want to say I don't know if sideboard cards in Modern should be that impactful, but there are a lot of sideboard cards that are super impactful in Modern.
I mean, like that Stony Silence,
Core Firewalker against Burn.
Yeah.
Spellskite against Infect.
And Boggles.
Boggles too. Ugh, God.
There are a lot of really.
At least there are ways.
Cards.
With those other cards, though, at least those are sort of like known quantities for those specific decks. Like, this is a very hard sideboard card. I need to have a plan against it. Mm-hmm. But with Blood Moon, you know, your plan could be to fetch basics, but if you just, like, if the sequencing doesn't work right, you can just completely be locked out.
Yeah, see, Comrade Squawks, the stop playing greedy mana bases logic, I think is horrible. Like, the idea is that, like, it's the same argument people say about Wasteland. It's like, yeah, you won't lose to Wasteland if you have, like, a normally built, like, non-greedy mana base. But you absolutely can in the same way you lose to Blood Moon. Like, if you just happen to draw your spells in the wrong, if your lands in the wrong order, like, you can play like, Miracles, for instance. It's a perfect example. Miracles plays upwards of 8 or 10 basics.
Right.
Like, I think usually the minimum I see is 8. Like, 6 islands, 2 plains.
Yeah.
And that's a deck that can just, you know, first 3 lands you draw are Tundra, Caracas. And you just get Wastelanded 3 times and lose.
Yeah.
And, like, it's just it's what happens. It's a very punishing mechanic.
Yeah.
But like Wasteland and Blood Moon.
And for whatever reason, that sort of game seems more acceptable in Legacy than Modern.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't really know why. Maybe we're just, like, conditioned to it.
Yeah, it's certainly possible. I mean, I don't hate it. Like, in Legacy in particular, when things are just like more fair game, you know, it's gonna happen. I mean, like, sure, you could get Blood Moon on turn 1, but you could also die on turn 1.
Yeah, you're more conditioned to being, like, okay with non-games.
Yeah.
Like, you know what you're signed up for, kind of.
Yeah, and I think that's what upsets a lot of people on Modern is these sort of non-games.
Because you have more people coming into Modern with just a standard perspective.
Exactly, yeah. Which I think is kind of strange. Modern's a very strange format. It's in a weird place right now. I think people are complaining a lot.
Probably
about
way more than is healthy or needed.
I mean, to be fair, like the people who are complaining are also very audible.
That's right.
Like people
people listen to them.
Yeah, they're on big pedestals.
Yeah.
Like people like Paulo. Paulo is you know a huge I'm not gonna say he's a huge complainer, but when he complains, everyone hears it.
Yeah.
Like Ari, you know, Ari talked a lot about Modern. You know, he's another person who's up on there.
Writing for the 2 biggest websites.
Yeah, like they each there's like 4 articles in like the last 2 weeks about like the state of Modern, and I am, oh my god, sick of it.
Yeah, it's not like national newspapers. Like, there are a bunch of those with a lot of different writers.
Yeah.
There's really like 2 big websites.
Yeah, two and like maybe 3. You can count TCG Player as well, but like the 2 one, you know, Channel Fireball and Star City, when they each are running 2 or so articles about Modern.
They're each running response articles to the other sites' articles, and it's just going back and forth.
It's
like,
I think it's very much excessive at this point.
It might be a little bit of like fear mongering.
It's the Red Scare all over again. It's the Modern Scare. People are worried.
Yeah.
They're just sitting there, just where they're going to ban their precious goifs, crying themselves asleep. I don't know. It's foolish.
All right. Well, that was we're moving towards the end of round 4. I don't think we're gonna have another match on camera.
I can go check.
You can look.
Oh, look. I'll do the deed.
Yeah. He's checking.
Yeah.
You can't say we didn't check. Oh, Jumpy 2K6. I'm sorry that you came a little too late for the raffle. Sorry about that. Crimson Viper as well. I'm sorry. We did the raffle at the beginning of round 4. And I don't know what the raffles are going to be for next week yet. I don't think we found out just yet, but I want to remind you guys, if you've liked the stream tonight and would like to see more, be sure to subscribe to the Twitch channel. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, all those other platforms under WUBRGxyz. So if you guys want to follow there, we stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Thursday is Legacy, and Wednesday is Modern.
And unfortunately, it looks like both the remaining matches are in the midst of Game 3.
Yeah, usually round 4 wraps up pretty quickly because some people have dropped, other people have drawn.
Yeah, it's quicker.
Yep.
Nice.
But I think it's been a pretty good stream tonight. We saw a lot of blood spilt.
Yeah, we did. We saw some beatings.
Yeah, round 1 was probably the closest match we saw.
For sure.
A lot of the other games were kind of just like combo slugfests.
Yeah, I mean, people really came out with combo tonight. I didn't think we had,
Yeah.
It didn't seem like we had all that many fair decks, really.
Yeah.
From what I could tell. I mean, like, the decks we didn't feature, I think were, like, there was a Dredge deck, there was a Storm deck.
Right.
There was, what else do we not see? Another Lands deck.
Sure.
Which I graciously, to Greg,
Yeah.
decided not to feature. But, yeah, like, there was a lot of quick games.
Yeah.
But I think there were some good games, though.
There's still
I like
a lot of thought behind them.
For sure.
Even if they're quick.
And yeah, definitely want to thank MTG Card Market. As always, very gracious hosts. Love being here. You guys should support them, buy their cards, sell them your cards.
Their sleeves look like this. You'll see them at GPs.
Yeah. Again, this sleeve is going out. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah. The person who won the chat tonight was...
Second HN.
Yeah, second...
Second. As I say. Yeah, we raffled off for those who missed it, unfortunately, we're sorry, but it was a Japanese time spiral.
Yeah, graciously given to us by our host for the night.
Yeah, our awesome host.
Yeah.
So again, I guess we're going to be wrapping it up for the day. We'll be back Monday.
Yeah, Monday night from Dice Dojo in Chicago. 7 p.m. is when we stream on Mondays.
Yeah.
Wednesday and Thursdays at 7:30, so slightly different start time.
Yeah.
And had a lot of people follow tonight. Had a lot of people in the chat. I thought it was pretty lively.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
I
like casting with you.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
You know Mark,
No.
but no one is.
No, I'm much better looking.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, Mark. You're in the chat.
I wanted him to hear that.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for everything, guys. Wow.
I'll just put this on to make Mark happy.
There you go. This one's for Mark. Right there.
He told me this is his favorite Magic card. It's right over there.
Is it
there?
There? Okay, there. I don't know. I've seen him put a Contagion Engine in a lot of decks.
That's a good point. Maybe he's lying to himself.
I guess so.
This is a little too cool.
I guess.
I don't know.
Very
cool card.
I could go on for quite a while about how little I hate this card.
How much?
Sorry,
how little you like it?
I hate it. Anyways.
All right, we're gonna go talk about what cards we hate.
Yep. All right. Good night, guys. Thanks for everything.
See you Monday.
Bye-bye.
Bye.